holy, holy, holy. Lord, we ask you to guide us today, help us make decisions. We thank you for this country, we thank you for this county. We thank you for the opportunity to serve you through this official position, Lord. We thank you for all those who come and share and give us wisdom and insight. And we ask you to watch over in this crazy world that we live in. There's so many people that are being persecuted and killed, and yet we get to come here calmly and govern. Thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Brown, you want to come up?
I guess I never realized this until I was kind of sitting there getting ready to pay my property tax on my building. I didn't realize I was getting charged $320. I presume that's a year, that's not 6 months, is it? I pay it every 6 months.
You guys obviously know, is he from your district? I don't know. What's your first name?
Dwayne Brown.
Dwayne Brown? Okay, I'm sorry. So that on your property tax bill, that's an annual assessment.
Okay.
Yeah.
But your bottom thing there, how much does that say?
This is for the second half. I paid the first half already, and each half is $953.55. Each half.
That's.
So.
I don't pay it annually. I pay it. You got the right to pay first half, second.
Sure.
Yeah, so you're paying half that $320 the first payment and half the $320 the second payment.
Yes.
But that's just on your building, the three. If it's 900.
Well, I was looking up here. Without tax, it's for the year. It's 1587.10, and for if you add the 320, it's 1907.10. So I presume it's 160 each quarter.
Well, you're paying it half.
Or I mean each half.
Yeah, so it's $320 total.
Totally.
160 each time, yeah.
My thing is, that's just I do construction, I build things sometimes in the shop or cut material in the shop. I don't have household garbage down there. I have a dump truck, and when I have waste, I haul it to Hardesties out to the landfill, and then I have to pay so much a ton to dump it. But that's all stuff that, like if I got a house, that's plaster lath, wood products, stuff like that. It's not household garbage that goes in that truck. My question is, I'm paying $320 for household garbage, and I don't have any household garbage at my shop. I don't eat down there. I don't have food down there. I just build things down there.
Right.
I mean, I don't have household garbage there, and I'm paying $320 for that per year. And my question is why? I guess I didn't even see that till I was sitting there waiting in line, and I was just kind of reading this. And I thought, wow, $320, why am I paying for waste? And then I get charged to dump. Each load is somewhere between $50 and $70, and I may make 4 trips a year. It's somewhere around $200, so I'm paying $500 and some dollars for refuge. So I'm just a little bit, I'm asking questions why I got to do that, and if there's something we can do about it.
Can I have it for just a moment? You do, I believe you've already filled out a solid waste exemption, right? I think you and I talked a couple weeks ago. Was that you?
I don't know. I talked to you about this,
Yeah, I
yes.
think, so we have a solid waste exemption filled out. I'm just waiting to get it
Okay,
back.
okay, yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Yep, so I just FYI, he has filled out the exemption, but we have not gotten to the discussion stage yet because I was waiting for the appraiser to get it back to me. But
Okay.
I wanted to point that out.
Well, when do you think we'll get that back?
I'll check with the appraiser. I think we just did it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it happened to be that Martin Luther King's Day was on Monday, and you guys didn't have a meeting, so that
Yeah.
I think you had that set up for that weekend, but,
Yeah, so I'm just waiting to get that back and then, cause you guys still have 2 exemptions you're discussing,
Right.
his and another one.
Well, so when we get that back from Truett, our appraiser, we'll see what his recommendation is, and then we'll go from that. Every business is paying that. They're not singled out.
yeah, I understand that.
It's
I'm just a one-man army, and I don't have people working for me, and, I just don't have refuge down there.
So the assessment is to cover our costs, the county costs to maintain the landfill, as well as to have, Hardesty haul it down, and as well as to pay the tipping fees in Salina. So those are the components we have to cover with the assessment. Just, and to be honest, solid waste is a required service from the state, and it's a huge cost. When we go to regional county meetings, it's a problem in all counties, what to do with solid waste.
Yeah.
So it's not just us, but I know it's a significant cost.
We've tried to divide up the operating cost of the landfill, between all the taxpayers, all landowners of the county, because even though it's $50 or $75 a load every time you go out there, that's not enough to really cover the costs of the landfill, if everybody did that. So that's why we came up with this assessment. Residents are a little different.
Residents are, how much is residents?
180. 180.
180.
Commercials are 320, and then some commercials are based on tonnage. So yours is a set fee of the 320.
Well, I'm basically still paying more than what a household by, my 4 loads that I dump out there each year is, somewhere roughly around $200.
Well,
So I'm not saying that I don't pay out there, I do.
right.
Yeah, I mean.
I'm not trying to get by
I don't
scot-free.
know if it'd be
I just-
beneficial for you to change and request, I don't know if this is something for us probably to discuss, if there's some advantage for someone who has low tonnage to become a tonnage-based person rather than a set fee. That might be advantageous to smaller businesses. Based on what the
We have a
tonnage
meeting coming up here.
tonight.
Yeah.
But
I'm not so much griping about what I have to pay to haul out there. I'm griping about I don't have household refuge that I see that I'm paying for. That's the part I'm griping about. I just don't have that.
Okay, so it's not really household, it's just all solid waste. That's our solid waste assessment. Just,
I understand that, but I call it garbage. In other words, I cannot if I had garbage down at the shop, I can't put that garbage in my dump truck. I can't do that because now it's garbage and he won't accept it out there. His garbage goes in his trash truck that he smashes and whatever that he picks up.
Right.
I can't put mine in a pile somewhere and he'd pick it up and put it. Mine is wood scraps and things that are torn off of a house, wood products and things like that. It's not refuge from like what your house would have.
well, we can certainly bring that up tonight about if it might be more advantageous. That way you'd pay based on tonnage what you draw rather than have a set fee. We haven't, I haven't discussed that before.
No.
I think in this situation though, he doesn't have any solid waste is what he's saying, other than C and D.
Right.
So, to this particular point, that wouldn't factor in.
It wouldn't be helpful for him.
No, cause he's saying, correct, you have no garbage picked up at your.
I have a
dumpster.
wood, and you say, well, what do you do with your cardboard, or what do you do with your paper? Well, I have a wood stove, and I use that to start my fires from my wood stove, so I don't have even that to throw away. I burn it.
Yeah, you don't have a dumpster?
No, I don't. And alls I have is my big dump truck, and I cut up wood scraps and things that come from a house that I tear up. You know, that goes in that truck. It's basically what you would call wood products that he buries in.
Mhm.
I dump it in his burial pit, and he buries it.
We need to bring that up tonight, and let's see if, I mean, just go from there and see what they say, and we have a board meeting
Yeah,
tonight about
okay.
it, so.
Well, I appreciate it. I just feel like I'm paying for something I'm not using. If I was using it, I don't have no problems with that, but it's kinda like having a phone in your shop and you're not using it, but you get charged $50 every month for it.
Yeah. Understand.
So, is there any
Alright.
other questions, or?
No, but I appreciate you coming and presenting it to us, so we happen to have a meeting tonight, so
Yeah,
that's good.
and I understand my case is probably different than what True Value's case would be. I mean, I don't have walk-in business and the possibility of refuge coming in from somebody else, you know. I just don't have that.
Okay.
It's just a place I make products and that's it.
All right. we
Thanks for
will,
coming in.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah.
We didn't make a decision on the other one, and already got a problem. I don't know what to think about it. Anyway,
It is unique.
a lot of people, I mean, no offense to him at all, a lot of people could probably say that, I don't know. That's what I'm worried about.
But people have gotta realize, you know, that tonnage rate, if everybody paid by the tonnage rate, even on household stuff, construction, demolition, that's not gonna be enough to keep the landfill open. That's not gonna cover our cost. So it's kinda like the insurance premium that you pay, and then hopefully you don't need it, but
Yeah.
you've got to cover this cost somewhere,
Yeah.
which is where that money comes from.
I wanna hear what this guy has to say. I gotta be out of here early, so I wanna see what he has to
We'll let
say.
him talk for a long time then, you gotta be out here early.
He's on the agenda.
Oh, no, that's what I'm saying is I've got a lot to say, I'll wait till next Monday. I wanna hear what this guy has to say today.
Dr. Stevens,
Yeah, but don't disappoint.
come on forward.
All right. Well, thank you for allowing me to come visit. I wanted just to start, I know I've had a lot of different conversations across the community. Curtis Stevens, USD 239 superintendent, I guess I should start with that. We've had a lot of conversations in this community about investments, and I think across the country, when we think investments, we think of, you know, dollars, timelines, returns, those kind of things. Those are all important. Usually it ends up being a balance sheet, and I'm a numbers person. I have to by trade in what I do. But sometimes there's a hidden side to that, and that's kind of what a community thinks about itself and what a group of citizens think about itself, and that's another type of investment. And in downtown Minneapolis, there's a variety of historic buildings that the county, I know, owns. Recently, I don't know how long, I'm still new to the community, exactly what year that was, but those historic buildings have watched people walk across its doors and inside it, farmers, ranchers, citizens, different individuals over the years. Those buildings have watched this county grow and go through really difficult times, and then regrow again and come back. And right now, what I'm seeing when I walk through this downtown area, it reminds me a lot of my hometown of Scott City. And in Scott City, some of those buildings are gone, and there's nothing there. Some of them were fire, some of them had to be pushed in. And so what pops up in place of them are these kind of newer businesses, which are good for a community, but then also there's something lost with that connection in the past. And so what I want to offer and give the county commission to think about is this, and this is
This is just a vision for right now that we're still working through and having conversation. I would love to have a spreadsheet with every single thing itemized. I don't yet. But what I see is when kids come and work on anything, they have investment in that community. And when they leave and they come back and visit, or they boomerang back to raise kids, there's still a connection with them. I'll give you an example. My father managed Scott Lake for 40 years out north of Scott City, and we would go out there in high school and do community service projects. And I was out there at Christmas, and I was taking my daughters there by it, and I said, "You see that tree there?" They're like, "Yes, Dad, we see the tree." I go, "Your dad planted that tree over 20 years ago, and he built the little fence that is now starting to fall apart around it because the tree has grown up." And there's a connection there, right? And going back to that, my great-grandparents ran a gas station in Elkader, Kansas, between Scott City and Oakley on the Smoky Hill River. And we never were able to go back and visit that because now it's just a pile of rubble. There's just I have a picture of it in its heyday, and then my daughters are standing next to some stones that are there and decrepit. So what I'm proposing is figuring out a way that the county and the school district, the museum board, whomever, Ottawa County Community Foundation come together and try to put some idle hands of our youth in those buildings, but start small. Start with the John Henry Building. Start with projects that students can do. Finishing floors, painting, sealing, things that aren't necessarily insurmountable. And I've looked through the technical reports, and I will tell you, there's a lot of work to be done. And I think when I looked at what was on those reports that Keith Coleman was gracious enough to help me find, I can obviously understand why the Historical Museum Board was terrified. And I can also see why the county would be terrified, and why the school district would be terrified if if somebody were ever wanting to purchase it. So what I look at is this: it is not something I think any single entity can do, and it is not a short-term endeavor. But when you look across this community, it is the last piece of originality of downtown Minneapolis that exists. And when it's gone, it's gone. And I think if civic groups can come together, not just to preserve nostalgia, but really to help kids learn that our past is also a piece of where connects to telling us about our future and what we're going to do. And letting the building fade, we lose more in brick and mortar. We lose our citizens' shared memory. We lose a piece of our county's history, our community's history. And I see a way to move incrementally towards improving it. And the first piece I see with that would be if we started with the John Henry Building and we had our student industrial arts classes try to get an assessment, looking at the technical reports and looking at the work that could be done. The first one would be that they would do a small project inside that building and then use that as a success story to help apply for grants to kind of build and snowball other things. One of the concerns I have as I'm looking at all the grants that exist out there is you can't go at it alone. You can't just have the county do it. You can't just have a business do it. You've got to have a variety of things kind of come together. And I think if we were to take a small project, show how a group of dedicated students were learning to do an incremental project, and then start applying for a bigger grant, the goal would be, I could see if we could find a way to enter into a type of lease where the school district would make improvements with student projects, small ones in the beginning, in lieu of paying a cash amount. If there were utilities incurred, we would figure out what that would be and prorate that. But the improvements that would be made to that building on behalf of the students would be a service that would be a community service-based project in which the county would benefit from and still own and maintain and keep all of that. And that would be like the rent, so to speak, that would be paid. If it were a student-based work project, according to the state law in Kansas, the insurance would be the school district's for the students that are working and the adults that are working there. We would cover their insurance just like we would if they went on a field trip. Okay. obviously, because we're utilizing students, we would be very careful about what kind of work that they would be doing, to protect them. But the other piece to that would be, in lieu of that, we would ask that, and keep in mind, I've brought the board a little bit along, but the board would have to be in agreement with it. I would be looking at a really basic, one-page, simplistic memorandum of understanding between the county commission and between the school district. We can't get it on one paper, it can't be done, one page. And something that both sides could have legal counsel look at. But it would be it would articulate what this idea is. And I do have a draft of that when I'd like to talk to the Board of Education before I submit a copy to the county commission. But it really is kind of what I've described, some kind of a lease agreement starting with one building. The county still owns it. The improvements made to it are still under the county's benefit. And the goal that we get out of it is we have some purposeful work for students, and we make improvements to it with the idea that we can eventually, hopefully, expand to where we can apply for grants and we can start snowballing and building some other pieces. And then the last piece of that would be our school board meetings. Sometimes we have the volleyball team, the basketball teams, where we do celebrations. We don't have a big enough facility where we're at, so we're not saying we're gonna move our board office in or anything like that. It would just be once a month or when we would have work sessions. The other piece to that would be if we could start with the John Henry building. The high school students in the building next to it, the little one, we would like to try to figure out a way to market this venue for a low rent that would go back into hopefully a line item that could go back into the building so that we can keep building up funds that possibly could be used to match for grants in the future. And that meeting venue would be a catalyst or a stimulus to bringing outside groups to Minneapolis to learn what we have to offer here, whether that be the Historical Museum, Rock City, and then we would work with the vendors, Papa's Burger Mill, Fajitas, the farm, to have them generate and cater for any lunches or anything that would happen in that, and it would offset any cost. So it's kind of like big picture, but we would also have that be a work-based learning partnership where the students could help market, bring these groups that exist. There is a market out there that I'm finding. Right now I meet with a group of superintendents once a month in Salina. And while we love Salina and it's okay to go there, and I've benefited from that community for 23 years, there are some superintendents in the north part of the state that don't want to drive all the way to Salina. And Minneapolis is about 25 miles closer. And there are groups of individuals that leave their current communities to go to other communities just because it's a different space. And I give you an example, Southeast Saline did a staff development here in Minneapolis. And so I think there's some small group opportunities for us to do it, and it would also allow our students to get that idea of authentic work and working with the public, things that can't necessarily always be duplicated in the classroom. It also brings some foot traffic downtown. And there are some other ideas that if this would grow and we would see success with one, we could get into the other pieces. But the other pieces, long-term, if we were to go fast forward 5-10 years, what that might look like is, because of the snowball effect of grants and the work that we're doing and the progress that we're making, that it might not be so scary for the Ottawa County Historical Museum Board to say, maybe there's something else here that we can do with that, because we have some partners with it. What I see in those buildings, though, when I talk to a variety of people, and I don't think they'd mind me sharing their names, but Katie Vanderhoff and Michaela Nichols, a whole bunch of different individuals who have such a connection to some memories. College classmate of mine, Carissa, who's on the museum board, told me, she goes, she remembers in high school going there, and I don't know if they had like a soda jerk or a well they had in the back there, if it was Kathleen Weedle that ran that or who it was. But there's a tie to that building, there's a tie to that area. But when you come up over that hill, and I'm still pretty new to this town, so I don't pretend to understand it. When you come up over the hill, come downtown, that is a special thing right there. It's a special, I think people that come from a bigger community or come up here from Salina come over that hill and they see that. And most of the individuals in Salina moved from small western Kansas towns to the metro of Salina. It was a metro when I first moved there because it had a Walmart and a whole bunch of stuff. But they see that, and I think they connect with the community. So whatever that would look like, that's kind of what I'm looking at and thinking. And I believe that this is not a short-term endeavor. This is something that has to be looked at in the long term. If a building were improved and there was a need in the future for a private sector entity that would want to move into it and still allow the other parts to be used in the original context of what I think the Weedle family wanted, well, I think that would be important too, and that we would want to get out of the way to allow it to still have it, with maybe a right to re-own it if it's not being used the way, whatever have you. But I think that piece of that community area down there is something special. And so in talking with kids, though, if they haven't been in it, they don't have a connection with it. And I think we lose a piece of that. So big picture, that's what I'm thinking. I do have a one-page MOU that I was going to talk to the Board of Education. I've been kind of bringing them along with how we can build some partnerships. And one of the things, I don't have a way to display this for everybody, but here are some pictures of our past students. And unfortunately, the best export in Minneapolis is the same one that's in most western Kansas communities. It's our youth.
Good job, Sarah.
And to that point, we want to make some connections where we can utilize our youth while they're here for things that benefit our community, so they can come back, kind of circling back to what I said in the beginning, and show how that connection is. And I do think there are a lot of partnerships to be had when we're looking across this community, and these are just some of the logos of those where we can bring them together. What we don't have is a way to kind of have the invisible hand bring everybody together. But I think our students and our school and our community could do that if we all agree on one kind of starting place and one short win. And if we're able to show that that short win was successful, I think it begets other wins down the road. And now, if it is such that there's a private entity that has a plan and I don't know about it, I don't want to be in the way. But I see a lot of great things happening in our classrooms, like in entrepreneurship and Mr. Flynn and what they're doing. What I don't see all the time is a way to get that into a market experience for kids, and then actually have something that they can stand back and say, wow, we did that. We're doing a lot of great projects, small little ones, banners, this, that, those kind of things, but long-term projects that have a testament of helping the community explore its past, but also establishing a connection in the future. That's a little bit harder, and that takes more cooperation from other entities. So that being said, that was a lot, and this is very preliminary, very visionary, but the details would be, the first step would be an MOU that would allow the school district to join and work with that building. We would have to have it lined out on like liability, we'd have to have it lined out on utilities, we'd have to have it lined out by access, and then what I would also put in that document would be a quarterly check in with the county commission on where we're at, how things are going. And that wouldn't be me doing it, that would be our students or student leaders who would also be helping with it under my supervision. So, questions or thoughts from the county commission that I can help answer? I know it's a lot.
Well, I've met with him once already, and I think it's a great thing. And I think that it is going to take slow steps, like you're saying, unless somebody would happen to come through with millions.
And if they do, and you want to, I know a guy, right? Just
Right.
send them my way.
Right, and I understand, so.
I think it's important that you mentioned to keep the wishes of the Weedle family, they want a community-oriented building or use for it, I think. And I've not talked to them, but I know other people have, and I'm sure you probably have too. So this is keeping the legality of doing all of this.
Right.
When we first started figuring out what to do with the Blue Store, yes, we've got to do something with it. Do we have everybody come and present their ideas? If there's X, Y, Z private entities that want in, do we do all of that and see who has the best? Does the commission have the right to make that decision?
I mean, it's not by law, it's not Weedles any longer, but it's the,
Sure.
I've spoke with Alan, and he's on board with what you're,
Yeah.
with what you're thinking, and he's happy about it. I mean, we could go ahead and do what we want if we want, but I'm not gonna do it that way.
Sure.
I mean, I wanna keep them involved like you say, so.
Well, and then I also continue to have conversations with Dr. Weedle, and the other piece to this is we get into grants. What I'm learning on the grants is this concept of grant stacking. And I'm on a board down in Salina that I've got about another year to finish up, and that board, it's Friends of the River, and the work of that entity began in the late 60s. And a shovel is getting ready to be turned here very quickly with what's happening. And on that board, I stand on the shoulder of giants back in the 60s that saw a vision and kept working at it, and all the other things that have happened since then. And you know, here's the other issue. What I remind students and even business leaders, community leaders, is this: we are going to try to plant trees that we may not benefit from the shade of, but you'll know when it's been won. When, you know, 40 years from now, people aren't coming back and seeing a pile of rubble and wondering, oh, you remember when that was there? And the last piece of originality in the community is gone. And sometimes we do have to go other places to see that value. I always think of the Apollo 8 mission. You know, no one really ever thought much about the Earth when they were heading to the moon until they came back around the moon and saw the Earth. And sometimes that's what happens to our kids. They leave us, I call them boomerangers. They leave. They realize, you know, that place I grew up wasn't so bad. I kind of want to go back to that and see it. It's nice to have something still standing there when they come back. And so, that being said, we'll work through some of those details. And the first piece, I need to talk to the board, but I don't want to go to the board until I talk to the county commission. And this is where you feel like, is it the chicken or egg? Where do you start? And you're going back and forth. But on these grants, grant stacking is really important. Timing is really important. And I'm going to have a conversation with the Ottawa County Historical Museum Board. I know they have an expansion fund, and what I would caution them on that is this: before they use that, always make sure that no other opportunity is there that could be used to leverage and have a possibility of a match, because those dollars are really hard to build up, and many of these grants that are out there do require some kind of match. And so on the other side of that, with our students, when they're doing fundraising for different kinds of entities, while they're pretty noble in doing that, we also want to keep in mind something that's going to benefit our community long term. And that could be something too that we're phasing together and looking at. So, but again, it goes back to it takes more than just one entity to make something like this work. So.
Well,
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think that, I love the fact that you get the students invested in it, that they have something that they can claim. And I also, when we were at the KAC meeting, they were talking a lot about how to have people buy in to come back, you know, and that's something that they can do. I also agree with when I was looking at that grant funding, even for that Rural Champions grant,
Yeah.
the more coalition there was between governing entities, the more favorable it was viewed.
It helps scoring it.
Yeah, and so so the industrial arts, I'm just trying to, I'm such a,
Yeah.
you know, specific thing, like, what do you foresee as a potential starting point, just so I see
Yeah,
a vision?
I think the first piece is, if you take the John Henry building right now, and you were to want it to be used for a board meeting,
Mhm,
what would that take?
mhm,
And what could be done intermittently? So I immediately think of like just one, cleaning the building.
mhm.
The stage that was in there, I'd love to see that stage restored. Don't know if that'll happen or not, but the flooring.
Do they still have the parts of the
I
stage?
think there were some there, they may not be, but even if there isn't, the staging of that area, the cleaning of the area, the painting of the building, the sealing of the building, when I say sealing, not the ceiling, the sealing it up, that keeps the water, those kind of things are items that can be done. Now, a kid can't put in a beam and they can't reinforce walls and do those things. They're not gonna replace plate glass, right? But looking at what is the code needed, what would be needed for the codes to be met, to have just a once a month meeting
To utilize the building.
of about
period.
80 people.
Mhm. I love that. I love, if you can open that door to our community.
And then we
If-
start
if-
with that.
yeah.
And then the other thing that, those individuals that come and be recognized for volleyball, they're having an experience in that building.
Mhm.
And then the next step is, okay, now that we have this set up, and it may even be that we try to get some grants for AV equipment and things that can be utilized for a meeting center. The idea of this, and I forgot to mention this is not to compete, okay? So we're not gonna do catering and meals. We have businesses for that. This is to help bring those entities to those businesses, like Phil Peschel and Ashley Swisher
To bring
and
them to the
Fajitas.
building.
And say, yeah, an example, last year we had the Teacher of the Year visit. 10 different Teacher of the Years from their school districts came because Carrie Pratt was recognized. And this year we'll have another one with Karen Hawk. They would come and meet. They would go to the grade school, the high school, Rock City. They would go to the farm maybe for coffee, and then they could use a meeting center in a neutral space, so they're not taking up a space that's in a school or somewhere else. But we would use that as a catalyst to kind of promote the county, and then that would also be an opportunity for us to market and share, hey, bring your family to Rock City. We have this going on during this month, et cetera. So those are the things that we're trying to do. Another example, March 7th, there'll be over 200 twirling families coming to Minneapolis for a competition. So we're gonna send them down to the businesses, and we're gonna try to market to businesses on that weekend that normally not much is going on. Those are the ways that I think you kind of keep the community thriving, and then when they're here, some of the dads, and I can speak to this, when their daughter's only performing 3 times in a day, wanna go do something with the other kids to get them out of there. Well, if it's a nice day, guys, we got Rock City out here, go over here, and by the way, here's how you
And
get there.
pickleball.
Pickleball, we've got, so we have these ways to kind of, to build that, and that economic development piece is, we need a place to showcase the community so that we can.
We used to
Yeah,
have a
people
big
understand.
wrestling tournament in Marysville, and we would hand out where to go in the interim,
Right.
places to eat, activities, things like that, to try to get them to go into the community and spend tax dollars.
Right.
As long as we had them in the community, we want them to spend money.
Well, I told Phil, like, I'll come buy 10 sandwiches, just passing through the crowd, and everybody's like, where'd you get that? Oh, you gotta go down there, this way. Food is the best advertiser.
So the March 7th, how are we gonna handle all these people?
Well, here's the good news. They come in at 6 a.m. They go to the high school. They're there most of the day, and they're probably not going to stay the night unless they, can find a hotel room or a B&B. So some of them will probably come from Nebraska. A lot of these are day events, but those are the best kind too, because they come, they spend cash, they leave, they pay taxes, and they head out. So they'll be utilizing the new gym at the high school. I'm there, so I'll be managing that and working with it. But we're just trying to make a tighter nexus. Before, they would go to Southeast Saline, great school district, but not as many businesses around it. Yeah. And so that was one of the, and they're gonna have a state competition in Salina, so I've reached out to Mrs. Mice and told her, if this works really well, we would like to try to get both competitions in Minneapolis in the future, because again, it's bringing people to our town.
Absolutely.
But we wanna have a place when they come to town that we can show them, here's a little piece of that history. Long term, if we would get this going and have it up and running, you can still have the historical board meeting, or the historical museum, but then do rotating exhibits in a visitor center, maybe Rock City Center, and by the way, we can get you out here and see this. Just having a focal place where folks can kind of come together and learn what you have to offer there. And I think that frontage on Main Street provides that authentic learning experience. And mind you, I've never done this on a wide scale, so I'm learning a lot of things up here. That's why I came in to do this job. There's so many opportunities to try new things. But I see a lot of young teachers and veteran teachers that are wanting to try to make a bigger impact. And versus doing the small projects in shop are great, but if you have a project that fits into a bigger project that's there forever, that's even better. So,
Amen. So
Yep.
will you have a National Honor Society,
we do.
and so
Yep.
will they use like community service hours possibly to work on this building as well?
Yeah, and I think that's the other piece too. If we have a focal point for them to work on, they're doing a lot of good things, and I don't want to take away from that. They pick up trash along the road. The community service day goes out, cleans graves. We're going to still continue doing those items. What I'm wanting though is one that is also ongoing, so I don't have to scale it for just a spring day. But it's the winter.
It
We
lasts
can do
longer.
something inside. What can we do? Here's what we have. Other possibility items in the future are help with exhibits, if we would see this kind of move. But I think as Mr. Mormer stated, we got to start somewhere here before we can see if this is going to work, before we try to do all of it at one time. Because it's terrifying if you try to do it all at one time,
Yeah.
right?
So have you gone to, this is just off the cuff,
Yeah.
have you gone to the museum to see if there's anything about twirling in Minneapolis?
Um,
Have you gone?
Well, I
Or
did
check
actually.
with Marvin or,
It's funny you should say that. I went through all the exhibits at the museum, took pictures, and
was there anything about twirling?
there isn't yet.
I just wondered at the high school, I was just wondering.
Yeah, there isn't, but what there is a beautiful set of, when I look at the work that was done by, is it Jetty? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah,
Okay, and I apologize, I don't know all the history of the committee, I'm still learning it. But these exhibits, what technology he had to work with when he put those things together, these are remarkable.
Yeah.
Now, could they use a facelift and some help with some kids and some grant money and maybe getting, there was an entity Ashley Swisher and I were talking about out of an area of town? Absolutely. But what I want us to think about this isn't a ribbon cutting next week. But it's going somewhere. And the enemy of progress is the demand for perfection. Sometimes we gotta go slow, but if we can find that, it begets more progress. And so those exhibits that are there, there's an eclectic group of them. I also think that the George Washington Carver is the most understated historical figure that is huge for this community. He graduated high school from here. Underused, and so developing that and adding to that. The historical board, I've been going to their meetings, and we are working with them. We're getting an MOU that's going to allow us to help scan newspapers and then help make sure they're archived. They have some of the Minneapolis Better Way newspapers that are there, and we're concerned that they're starting to fall apart, but we want to make sure they're preserved because once they're thrown away, they're gone. And so that's another micro project that we're starting with them to kind of build some trust a little bit.
Well, thanks for doing that.
And hopefully we can help them clean out some of those shelves so they can get some staging area as well. But there's some opportunities for our students to work on a smaller scale, so we're going to start with them as well. So we kind of got a two-front thing, but I wanted to talk to County Commission about this so I can go to the Board of Education, get a draft of an MOU, and then bring back a draft to you. You guys have time. If we get nothing else done this spring, it's maybe we get that one piece of paper ready for next year. And then what that would allow us to do is at the beginning of next year, I can have students that are scheduled with that intentionality in mind and some transportation and pieces set up to where we could do some of those projects at the building.
I'm just gonna say
Yep.
one more thing about twirlers and then I'll just go. So in Marysville, one of the featured twirlers was at K-State was Anita Welch.
Okay.
She still lives in Marysville. And they still have alumni twirlers that go perform with the alumni band at K-State. So I don't know if you can tie that in.
Well, it's funny you should mention that. One of our elementary teachers here in town was a former K-State featured twirler.
Okay, maybe she
And-
knows, I'm sure
and
she knows
She carts
Anita.
my kids, helps me cart them back and forth between Salina, but we had that little twirling clinic at the Friday night basketball game. And I think you're gonna see more twirlers here in the future. And I also think that it's those kind of little opportunities when you find them. There's other kinds of events like that we can get into our community. We just have to have the hands to help us market it and the brilliant minds of a teenager. And you know one thing about the mind of a teenager, I heard this best, I thought it was funny, that the teenage brain is as sexy as a Ferrari, it just doesn't break and corner well. So I think if we get these guys on the path that are gonna help us, we're gonna see some big things happen on those micro scales. But yeah, twirling, and part of it is my daughters do it, but they told me when they came up here, I said, Dad, they have twirlers? And I go, no, they don't. And they go, well, they're gonna allow us to? And I go, that's between you and the administration, I'm staying out of it. And so they approached your son and he was really gracious and helped him out. But there's other girls that are seeing that, and there's things that they learn through that, girls and boys. Goals, all that piece that they didn't get up in front of a crowd. So I'm hoping to see those transferable goals that are there. So we'll see. But this
Anita's
is
a
that
big
first
marketer.
piece. Okay.
So if you want somebody who will jump in and come alongside you,
Yeah.
reach out to her.
What's her last name?
Welch in Marysville, Kansas.
Welch.
Yeah, Anita
Okay.
Welch. And like I said,
Yeah.
she would probably come alongside and kind of maybe do something with these girls when they're sitting around. I don't know.
Some of the districts aren't always wanting to have these events because it does take time for cleaning the building and this and that. But the other piece to that is if there's an economic benefit,
Mhm.
that's where we do one for the community, so it helps them out on this other side,
Amen.
so.
Thank you for
Yeah,
all your
you
work
bet.
on this.
I'll bring that back to all of you, and then if I'm in the way, just put me on the agenda wherever you need me.
No problem. Thank you.
You bet.
I appreciate
I
you.
like what you're saying, but our attorney is here, and he just got in on the tail end of it, so it's gonna be
Well, I
his.
know your attorney, I've seen him perform down at Salina Theater, you did a good job. in
Oh,
that.
really?
Yeah, I worked with his sister at South High,
Good.
Erica.
Are you a singer or a performer, or both?
Great actor, great actor, so, all right, well, we'll bring that and you can get it.
Thank
back
you.
on it.
Does that tie into your county attorney?
That's
role?
what I was gonna say. Have a good day.
Interesting. I
Russ.
didn't know that was a sidebar.
What do I have two of these? Oh. Russ?
First, I want to bring your attention to the Unified Fleet Service paper that I gave you. So, vehicles are paying behind to budget for, to figure out how long they're going to last, to the warranties and all the things that go with them. So, Chief Cox mentioned a few weeks back about he had been in communication with a fleet service. And I know we talked about it with Enterprise,
Yeah, briefly.
and I reached out to them. Enterprise, you have to have 10 plus vehicles.
Okay.
We don't have that, to even start talking about or negotiating. This unified fleet services that Chief Cox told me about, I contacted them and been talking to them. But I want to go back, I guess, and explain a little bit about our vehicles. And I'm sure you all know the warranties and everything else that go with vehicles are limited on mileage and limited on years of in the service and whatnot. Ours typically are a 3-year, 75,000 mile warranty on most of our vehicles. That being said, for the most part, well, our oldest ones are 2021s, which are out of warranty, out of mileage. We've had one of those that we were just lucky enough, about 2.5 years ago, that we had an engine that went out of it, and luckily, it was just a couple thousand miles, a couple months away from the warranty expiring, so we were able to get a new engine for it. These vehicles are not your everyday vehicles that are road and parked in your garage, and we try to take care of them the best we can, but they are used for their purpose. The other ones I have they're right now reaching at just over 3 years old, and most of them are averaging about 70,000 miles at this point in time. So we're putting on about 30,000 miles a year on a vehicle. I don't want to stop that because I think it's a good thing for the citizens to see us out and about and us to be visible. And I don't want to tell my guys to sit at the sheriff's office or, sit on the road. Don't be visible. Don't put on the mileage. We've never, I guess, put a limit on that, and I really don't care to try to do that. We got 750 square miles roughly in our county, and there's usually one guy on per shift. So he's got, and part of my standard is he's got to visit every city at least 2 times during his shift, if possible. We get busy and sometimes it don't happen. But that being said, what we have done is on past years, we went through about 2 vehicles with purchase per year. We don't go over the 100,000 miles, and we don't try not to go over the warranty by so much, because then it'll cost us to repair an engine. An engine anymore is anywhere from 10 to 12 or more $1,000 to replace. So again, I've been talking to the Unified Fleet Service, and we discussed the different brands. We discussed the Fords. We discussed the Dodge, and then we discussed the Chevys. The Fords and the Dodges, and I don't mean to hurt anybody's feelings, but the resale on them are not very good at all. So the Chevys are the ones that are actually have the resale that they hold their value. And we've seen that in the past when we've sold them to the market on our end. If you see at page 2, if you flip to page 2, this is kind of a estimate of what it would be for a 3-year contract. There's 2 terms. There's 3 years and there's 5 years. 3-year term actually keeps your warranty and the value of the vehicles to where they should be. And it per month for the, let's say if we went with a Chevy Silverado, it's $1,580 per month. The Tahoes are a little bit more, they're $1,678 per month. But what that includes, as you see up at the top, requested, that also includes upfitting. And we can't get away from the upfitting, we can't get around it anymore. The way that they're changing the vehicles every 3 years, we can utilize the radios and the stalker radars and the cameras, which we intend to do, but the rest of it, there's no way around but to actually keep it in the vehicle and get new lights and whatnot, center consoles. But what this includes is the upfitting on the vehicles, the price per month. And I did some figures.
Was it both vehicles, Russ, cause it's only listed under the Tahoe,
Right.
the $20,000 upfit?
It 20,000, and then if you look above that, Dwayne, the number 1 vehicle, and we just did 2 of them.
Oh, 15.
The
upfit.
15.
Okay.
And that one, we just based that off of what I purchased this year, which is the pickup. And we're not putting everything in line, to and from work, and I don't need all that stuff. So I did the figures, or did some numbers, and if we went with 6 vehicles, a year, it would cost us about 100,000, or I'm sorry, the 5 Tahoes, it's right at $100,000. And then the additional one would be 18,000. We're spending, well, this year I budgeted for $150,000. And as I said, in 2027, we wasn't supposed to have any in there, but with what I have on mileage for my vehicles, I'm gonna have 2 more in there for my budget. I'm gonna have over 100,000 miles on 2 of them. The Tahoes that I replaced an engine in a 23 Tahoe just last year, and the 21 2 years ago. And they were both under warranty, thank heavens, or else we would have been paying for them.
So we wouldn't necessarily buy all 6, and then we would just roll them out as you replace them, or would you have to buy them all up front?
Every 3 years you get new vehicles.
You would
And
roll out.
part of the deal, what I was looking at this year is, if we're gonna have to replace 2 next year, Carla, it's gonna be another 140,000 at the lowest for 2 vehicles. If we replace them this year, hypothetically, 5 of them anyways, because we've already purchased the pickup. That one's already been paid for. That was the first one that you've seen come through. So if you pay for 5 of them, you're really gonna have 6, cause the pickup will last the 3 years too. The benefit of that is the vehicles right now with the mileage they have, this Unified will sell them, and we get credited towards this contract for the next 3 years.
Whatever they sell it for you, they give you that credit back on your lease payment? So, we would still incur all maintenance?
Basically like a
Oil
lease.
change, it is, no, so if it's a warranty claim, if the engine goes out, transmission, stuff like that, then it's under warranty. Our basic
General maintenance?
maintenance stuff, we would still do, the tires and the oil change, that wouldn't change.
So it'd be 100,000
This year.
for 5 vehicles? And that's basically a lease, we're not buying them.
Right, it's a lease, and there's no mileage cap on it, that was the one thing that I told him I didn't want. If you see, that was one of the questions that I asked him, in an email, and he responded that they can make it however they want it, there's no cap on mileage.
So this is what the city's doing?
The city was looking in, according to Brian, he was looking into purchasing 2. I don't know where they're at as far as,
Is there any way to piggyback with them and get anything
well,
cheaper?
I don't know. We can try, because as your number of vehicles go up, it gets cheaper.
Well,
I have one more vehicle that, we have a claim on for this year alone, one of the Durangos, because it's the cheapest out there and was the only thing that was really available. Still gonna have roughly, after we get the pickup done, we'll have 80 to 90 still available for what I budgeted.
How many miles a year do you put on each,
Over 35 to 40.
35 to 40 each year on each vehicle?
well, what do you think, Carla?
Well, I was looking at, when we talked about your capital improvement plan, we had $150,000 in 26, 28, and 30. So so you're bumping up a little bit in 2029 that we didn't have budgeted.
Would it be less than what he,
It'd be a little bit more because he didn't have anything planned in 27 or 29. So, it'd be a little bit more, can I read through this and you wanna
Sure.
go back next week?
Yeah.
yeah,
I'll look at it?
Yeah.
I probably got some dumb questions that I don't wanna ask in a public meeting.
there's no dumb questions.
And we can I talked to Michael, the guy with Unified, and he said he would be more than willing to either come up, talk to you on the phone, or however you wanna do it.
So I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
I was trying to think, did we buy vehicles last year?
Yes.
Yes.
No,
So,
we did not.
I'm trying to think,
So they're gonna get rid of ours?
Yes.
so six,
They would sell, the ones that we have.
so 6
They-
vehicles is what you'd want on an ongoing basis, and
On an
6 is your
ongoing
number.
every 3 years.
They would sell our vehicles we have now and then deduct it from the
Yes.
price, the lease.
From what they've put in there.
Okay.
So it would be less than what the numbers I told you.
Almost
but
seems to
I
be
don't-
too good to be true, that's why I wanna read it. I mean,
You're fine.
if you don't
Fine.
mind.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Is the outfitting charge in that?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
not additional. That was-
No, the upfitting charges on here, the plus about the Unified, what I've talked to is, say if we need a new Axon camera, if we need new radars, they plug that into this for the financing of the 3 years.
Huh.
Are there other services that do this, or not anybody that does less than 10 vehicles like
That's what I
Enterprise?
found.
Okay, I was just curious. I,
Ford County uses them. They said the city here has been looking at them.
Okay. Let us,
Yep.
look this over this week and get on for next, is a week good enough?
yeah, I just,
That's fine, and I meant to get it to you, I was actually waiting for, guy said he was gonna, Michael said he was gonna put together a whole quote for me, it hasn't come in yet anyways, so. This is,
if you happen to get that quote, will you include it
I
in the
will,
packet
I will,
next week?
I told Tammy I
He
was
tried.
trying to, but didn't.
Okay. Funny. All right.
Okay, last but not least, I wanna go over, I know this wasn't on the list of things, but it kind of is something that I need to figure out what you guys think I should do. So we have Omnigo Services software. It's our records management, it's our jail management, and it's our CAD for our 911 systems. That bill every year is $28,822.77. It's gonna go up. I guarantee it's gonna go up. There's some services that we need, but I haven't included in here, and I'm not going to yet. But we started out like 20,000 and just a few years back, and we're already up to almost $29,000 for these guys.
For Omnigo?
For Omnigo.
Okay.
And we share with, or we try to share with the county attorney's office with this, and it just does not clash with his what is the? Carpel. I've been talking to, Interpol. Have you heard of them? Okay. Interpol is another, service, kinda like Omnigo. They're in 70% of the counties and cities in the state of Kansas. They're CAD, RMS, JMS. They actually are, they can match everything in Carpel or whatever the heck it's called. We do Clear, and they are part of the Clear. The cost per year for Interpol compared to Omnigo, $95.45 a year is what they charge, and they're giving me the services that I was wanting plus what we already have. That's per year. We're cutting it close to $20,000.
So you commit to 2 years and you pay 95 per year?
$95.45, yes.
Per year?
Yes.
Is there
100,
Yeah.
9,500?
$9,500 a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would lose with the current provider that Interpol wouldn't?
Just the comfort.
A known quantity?
Well, the downfall of this is, we have to make, and I hate, we need to make a decision here pretty quick because Omnigo comes out in April, I believe, their yearly fees. And the way that I talked to Clay County, who just went and joined Interpol, and Omnigo somewhat sabotaged some of their history paper or stuff that they have saved through Omnigo. Their cases, basically. They were supposed to basically give it to Interpol, and they were supposed to put it in their system. For some reason, they sabotaged it, or it hasn't made it there yet, so it's been kind of a pain. But they also, last minute, made the decision to change over. So they think that that's part of it, is the fact that it was last minute, and eventually they'll get it. But the downfall of Interpol is in order to go with them this year, if you see the page 202, that highlighted in blue area, the 48,975 would be the initial setup.
I'm sorry, on page
Put the
2.
decimal point in there for me.
$48,975 to start out.
With Interpol. Wow.
But then the following year, it would cut it by close to 20,000.
Yeah. 2 years we'd be paying the difference basically in savings,
Yeah.
just upfront, pay me now, pay me later.
Do you know other sheriff departments that use it besides?
Yep, I've talked to Lincoln County uses it, I've talked to Mitchell County, I talked to Ford, and then down in western Kansas, it's Park City.
So the only one that kind of got sabotaged was Clay?
Clay
Everyone
is
else
what
transitioned?
I've found, yeah.
Everyone else transitioned okay? And they all had Omnigo before?
Well,
So you believe this is more, will tie to the county attorney's office better, or not? It
Yes,
still will.
absolutely, yes.
It will.
It actually will allow him, it cost us money to include the county attorney's office into Omnigo. Every time we add a user, it cost us, it was $500 and some if I wanted to add my 2 part-time guys to the system,
okay.
which was ridiculous, I thought.
So this works for all your systems, 911, all
Yes.
that kind of,
That $48,000 is them coming in, setting up, getting all our records over, training all of us up on it.
So is there any way to guarantee to get all the records over?
He said it shouldn't be a problem, but I guarantee, it's a computer.
Well, I mean, I don't wanna end up like Clay County.
Yeah.
They're gonna get theirs, it's just
When?
a waiting game because Omnigo,
Okay.
and they waited the last minute.
But it'll match up with you? Jeff?
I don't know, I haven't heard anything about the Interpol system, so I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, if it does, it'd be great.
Right now, Jeff's still learning Omnigo because he's fairly new at it.
So he'll still be on Omnigo,
No,
or he'd switch?
he would go to Interpol, and it wouldn't cost us near as much to give everything to them so they can look through all of our records if they need.
Would it be an additional cost to put the attorney's office on it?
Nope.
All right, well, you wanna,
can I look over this
Yeah.
during the week as well, and when you come
Sure.
back next week?
Yeah.
Yep, we need to.
Yeah.
All right,
So I kind of just, so the 48,000 wouldn't be in your budget this year,
28 of it would, for sure.
the Omnigo
I mean,
cost?
that's all we
And then-
budgeted for that.
And we'd also have this for this year as well, the 95,
No.
45? No, the 48 would be the
48
first
would be-
year,
yeah.
and then next year would be the
Yes.
95,
That
45?
would be a recurring bill for them.
Okay.
Going forward. So,
Have the
we would
people
s-
that use this for several years, have they had significant increases in their maintenance on it?
that's
do you
my
know?
thought.
everybody increased, but according to
wasn't
Mitchell
like-
County Sheriff and Lincoln County Sheriff, who've had it for years, they haven't had any significant raises.
We
What
might
we're
have-
finding with Omnigo is they're raising theirs.
Yeah, you said it went
Right,
from
but
20
you might
to
ask, just ask them what it roughly has been, if you would.
Would you say they were raising it to Omnigo?
Omnigo, we're gonna be plus another $2,000 at least on
Over
our,
30.
so we'll be at $30,000 probably.
Okay,
Jeez.
Now, some of this used to come out of, our 911, but. Wow. So everything's costing more and going up as far as,
well, if you'd ask, I mean, it seems like the thing to do, but if you'd ask how much they've went up, the others that have, you know, if you could find out how much raise they've got, or how much increase they've had.
Yep.
Be appreciative, and then
Do
we'll-
you believe all the people before had Omnigo before they had Interpol?
not all of them had Omnigo, no, there's some free stuff out there that you can't do your job with.
No, we don't, yeah, we don't wanna go that route.
With our
Okay.
911, the way things go, it's,
Anita?
On a side note, next week also, I'm gonna have my 2 new deputies, in the courtroom, plus the undersheriff to swear in.
Oh, good.
So I would like to get a updated picture with all of my staff, county attorney and you guys.
Now, when are you doing this?
The 9th. Tentatively, I'm gonna talk to the judge, but we'll do it on the 9th, one way or the other. If the judge can't do it, then Tammy can do it. She's qualified to do it, so,
Good.
Okay,
one way or the other. So.
Awesome.
I'll move for a 5-minute break. Second,
You can just call it recess if you want.
recess. Going outside and play in the snow.
I still have audio on, just, because I can't come up. Hey, you're in.
Are you gonna have them come to the table and they talk, or?
So is that thing charged up, or what's going on there with your microphone?
Yeah, it's charged, it's working, we have audio. I have it on the charger so it doesn't die again.
Okay.
So
We can move it if we want to.
as the department heads talk, will it pick up when they're at the table?
If they're gonna be at the table, yeah.
Okay.
Say, Department of Health. Last?
Next is the department head update.
Okay. Start over here, I guess.
Do you think they should come to the
Come
table?
to the table, I guess.
Sorry,
Come to the table.
so
Okay.
people can.
Nobody can hear, I guess, our audio's not that good.
No, it's the same no matter what, so every time someone talks, they'll have to come to the table. It's not just because it's over there.
It's our new procedure. You
Oh,
get to come
okay.
to the table.
County attorney, we're just, I don't know, new, same old. We're busy. All cases.
Yeah. Have you met with that one landowner that we discussed
Yeah, I talked with him.
and progress?
No, not really.
Okay,
We can talk though in some other session.
okay. But you have met with them, the landowner?
Talk, well, emails, but.
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you for doing that.
All right.
Keith goes, do I have to come to the table?
You don't have to.
Don't have to. Just typical maintenance, worked on some plumbing issues in the jail, water main break over there, and a couple of hot water heaters. Snow removal last weekend, and then just general maintenance.
So we got a phone call, about 5 o'clock
Yeah,
from a patron that was driving by the jail and said, got water coming out the top of the door.
A top of a door?
yeah, the water main broke inside the mechanical room at the jail on the west side. It was blowing like Niagara Falls in there. It was an inch and a half water main that broke,
I guess we're really grateful they called in, huh?
yeah,
It probably would have run all night.
could have, yeah.
Anyway,
He noticed the water down by the bank, so he drove up the street.
Wow.
where's that coming from?
Was that last weekend we had a skating rink?
It would have been like Friday, yeah.
Anyway, Russ, gave me a heads up that there was gonna be $20,000
$20,700 bill.
deal coming so there's one water heater that they bought and spoke for another because they're not making those after this year.
This
And-
month.
This
Next month, they can't manufacture them anymore because of the efficiency ratings on them with the new government regulations, so they can't build them anymore. And to change them out to a newer style is a lot more money.
You had that much water from a water heater shutting off?
Wasn't a water heater that shut off, it was
But
a
it
water
sprayed,
main.
it sprayed the water heater.
There's already one over there that had a hole in it, and it was shut down and bypassed in the tank.
So was that water main on our side where it's our expense?
Yes. Anything inside the building is ours.
Yeah, so it was inside the building, okay.
And Keith would like workman's comp because he got a shower.
And it was cool, yeah, it was like Niagara Falls in there.
But anyway,
Was it
we
hot
had,
water or
so what took place is we've purchased the last 2 hot water heaters available for that system. And so one is gonna be a standby when they get it, and they've
One's
already,
in service now.
one of them's already in service. See, the water sprayed the hot water heaters and ruined all the electronics and everything to cause that. But anyway,
Keith, the way I understand it, then we can function now with one water heater.
We can, since we're not using the kitchen like we were in the,
Yeah.
in the.
Will we have to put that other water heater in if we repopulate the jail?
I will, it's gonna be put in.
Okay.
I put in valves to
Just bypass.
bypass so they can just use one.
Okay.
So it's gonna be, it won't even have water in it. We won't put water in it until I need it.
Right.
right,
But if we get the jail repopulated, get something going in
Then
there.
it's just
then
opening,
Open the valves.
2 valves
Bill.
and get
Yep.
3 valves and it's back in system.
So there goes our spare.
Right. I mean, if you,
Yeah.
but that's the way it's always, there's always been 2, they just weren't valved. that
Okay.
way. So now it's gonna be valved that we can leave that one off, we won't even put water in it. And they only last about 5 years
Yeah.
because of the recirculation to them.
so in 5 years,
They're a 3-year warranty on the tank and they last 5 years.
okay.
It's
Alright.
what has been average, cause I replaced them before, or had them replaced before.
Any other
So
excitement?
So you say there's something that's unique, we could only use certain types of water heaters for our system?
Yes,
How many gallon are they, just curious?
100 gallon.
100? Not as big as I thought.
weigh
If they-
about 500 pounds apiece. They're commercial grade. They're ancient because they have a large inlet and a large outlet. The water recirculates 24/7 through them.
Pretty fast recovery time then, probably.
Extremely fast recovery time.
All
They're
right.
199,000 BTU.
Anything else?
That's all I have for now.
All right. Jason?
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
So I wanted to just share a few quick updates and insights, address maybe some topics that are looming large on the horizon for us. Last week, I attended the Homeland Security Council meeting. Actually, Sarah was remoted into it. Really not much noteworthy out of it. There was a little bit of underrepresentation in the room. I was down at the Salina County Sheriff's Department down there. Probably the most compelling piece of information I took away from that working group was regarding cost for communications capability in the future. And I'm certainly not a subject matter expert on it, but I wanted to just kind of apprise you all. I know I talked to Tammy about it. She's heard Chancey. He's kind of our local subject matter expert that's briefed the state agencies
Right.
on the capability gap that's
Right.
on the horizon. I think what I wanted to share with y'all is that I'm tracking it and I'll become more knowledgeable on this subject matter, and that way I can come back to the commission with more information on progress, the way ahead, corrective action plan, things like that, as it emerges out across the state, because it is going to be an overarching challenge, not just for us, but who is going to ultimately end up being the bill payer for the new technology that supports the telecommunications capability for our first responder and first receiver entities. So I just want to kind of make a point of that for y'all's consideration, and I think more to come in the future. I don't think anybody has any easy answers right now for it, ladies and gentlemen. So kind of flash forward, that's maybe last month, looking at this week, maybe the most critically important task is an operational coordination symposium. It's going to bring in a lot of emergency management stakeholders. It's in the Wilson Center, or Webster Conference Center in Salina. I expect there'll be a lot of networking, a lot of best practices and lessons learned, idea sharing, and I anticipate that it's going to be really starting this afternoon until Friday morning. And whatever pearls of wisdom or good information I receive, I hope to share that out with you all probably early next week. There's a lot of training, advanced planning concepts, incident command forms, things like that. So I did consider actually seeing if y'all wanted to come down, but there wasn't really any executive leadership blocks of instruction during this symposium. It's mostly at that operator level and multi kind of agency coordination and how we kind of do those things, ISP and all. So I expect to learn a lot this week, and then whatever I see that's maybe value added that I could share with you all, I expect to potentially.
So you'll be gone the rest of the week,
I'll
probably?
be in and out, so
Okay.
yes, but yeah, it's going to be it's quite laborious as far as the schedule. It's a pretty intense schedule, I would say, but I think the value proposition is really, really high.
So in the past, when you're gone, if somebody comes in for like a burn permit, do you have can somebody else get it for them, or?
Yeah, there's another person that does it down in the office. I'm not familiar with everybody yet. I don't know their name, but there's an office next to that old office that they have the ability to do that. But we do also have the ability to do that via email. I'll have my laptop up and I can do that via email. So and we can do it electronically as well.
Okay.
Can I ask, is this something Marie went to, or this is something
Yeah, all the
she
others.
always has gone to
Yeah, all the emergency managers will be. I think there's a.
for all the adjacent counties?
If we did not have representation there, we're gonna likely miss out on a lot of valuable information.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah, I actually was kind of diametrically opposed to it when I first said, well, this is gonna be a lot, and then she was compelling me. She said, oh no, you definitely need to be down there and be in the room and hear what these folks all have to say. So I think it'll be an excellent networking and learning opportunity. and it's at no cost too, which is great. So from the seat I'm sitting in, I think I'll take away a lot of good best practices, lesson learned, things that I can potentially apply in the.
Did you happen to meet there was quite a few emergency directors from adjacent counties at Marie's. Did you happen to meet them? Did they stop in and say hi?
Yes, I've met them several times
Oh,
before.
okay.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I just knew there were several there apparently or
Yes,
something.
yeah, I did see them there, yes. So that's really this week, and then I think in the weeks ahead, I wanted to share, and goes back to a couple of emails that I sent. One was really, I think, a success story, and that is that Ottawa County's ahead of the power curve. We have gotten, in advance of the expiration of our local emergency operations plan, it has been approved by Kansas Division of Emergency Management. And so that first memo I sent to y'all was really the promulgation memo. I spent some time in the Kansas Bold Planner, and I didn't want to be dismissive to your question because
I know, I said, do we need to approve this?
we have 90, so there's no rush because it wasn't actually expiring until our current plan wasn't expiring until December of 2026, so we're way ahead of the power curve. But also we have 90 days in order to promulgate that plan back to Kansas Division of Emergency Management. So I don't want us to rush to failure. I wanted to, and it's like 300 pages with 15 emergency support functions. So I don't think we have to rush to look at it and review it, but I wanted to kind of let it marinate with y'all. And then from the seat I'm sitting in and based on my past experience, it's good. I mean, I imagine there's one person in this room that has access to the Bold Planner, and that's the person that is in there right now. So nobody's really looking at it, but we could make it value added. The other reason, and this is just more of a systematic thing, the reason we don't need to get too wrapped around the axle about this particular plan right now is that it was kind of grandfathered in from an earlier system, and they are transitioning. Some of the folks that attended the LEPC likely heard. It is transitioning there's an alpha program that's coming in that's going to transition into it, but we're not even into beta testing yet for Kansas Division of Emergency Management. There's been some pushback on that. So the system of choice is that Kansas Bold Planner. It's not exactly intuitive or easy to navigate, but the good news story for Ottawa County is that in comparison to other counties, we have KDM approval of our plan. Now the ball is back in our proverbial court to say, we like what we see here, or we'd like to make these changes, and we can promulgate that approval of that plan in the next 3 months. And then even if we decide we want to do something different, we have until December 2026. And around that same window of opportunity is when they are anticipating a decision point, September to really end the fourth quarter FY26, on what they're going to do with the new system.
Okay.
And so we probably won't even see any real movement on that until later this year, and then any decision memos probably maybe December of 2026, and then we'll see implementation maybe spring of 2027. So we're sitting in a really good place right now, I'll say that.
Okay.
So 300 pages.
Yeah, and that's why I
So
didn't want to.
we will, you're gonna have us a short overview of what this says?
So there's
For
always, in any plan,
common.
like, there's a base plan and then there's those annexes, and that's very, very typical. This is just the Kansas model that they've chosen to use with the 15 ESS. It's a little different than what I've seen done, but it's not a bad technique.
Yeah.
But there are probably subject matter experts in Ottawa County that would be beneficial for them to know what we're saying is in their respective ESF. Like law enforcement is going to be one ESF, but we have multiple law enforcement agencies that they should get input or at least have insight into what we're saying is codified and what KDM is approved. For them, I don't want to call it like a box check, but for them, they're just saying back to FEMA, hey, we've got our counties abreast of one another, and this is this system that they're using to have a standardized plan. It's really kind of boilerplate, and when you look through it, the language is going to seem kind of strange, but they're doing that really as a uniform kind of design across all the counties.
Was that a template that was handed down to you from the state of Kansas?
that's-
Because I saw a lot of repetition when I started
Yeah.
through there. The 300 pages, we cut it in a fourth.
Yeah, that's where, I mean, you could literally have one of those ESFs with one, it could be a one pager, cause it's got a staple in it, doesn't get read anyway.
Right.
It could be a one pager, but they might have 10 pages for one specific
Right.
ESF, but you can't plan for every eventuality.
They tried.
But they're trying to set a template out there for folks to say, oh, this is what you could integrate into or
Right.
base your plan off of. So it's good, but it's not great, and it's not something that's going to prevent us from responding to
Right.
incidents, but we will be answering the mail back to Kansas Division of Emergent, which is a good thing for us, I think, gentlemen, lady.
Good plan. Yep.
The other thing I want to share with you all is the grants portal. So gotten a little bit of a tutorial on that before my predecessor left, still kind of figuring out which way is north on that. Kansas Division of Emergency Management has grants managers up there, so they're folks that I think they're going to be positioned to help us navigate that. But we do have a near-term deliverable with one of the events, and part of my ignorance, I wasn't here when it happened, so I'm not exactly sure all the ramifications or, what mitigation I'm not an engineering expert, but Chris and we did speak last week. It's coming up for a decision memo from FEMA at the end of February. It's about a $13,000 bill that they're willing to cost for us. So we're in a good place right now with it. I went through last week and then this morning and reviewed it. As long as we have the supporting documentation from the historic efforts that we took, I don't see any reason why they would claw that money back from us. But when I spoke to, go ahead,
The
please.
you use the word mitigation, are you talking about 230th Road? No? What are you talking about?
This is 2024.
Long ago.
Is the 2024 the one that happened in January that they're still waiting on?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe that was the date on those, was
Yep.
January.
Okay.
And so when I looked, the work had been done. I had looked at the spreadsheet. We were a county that had provided all of our data, so we're in a good place right now. And even if we get to late February and we don't have the support documentation, we can submit for an extension on that as well. So even though KDEM might be a little panicked, it's because I don't want to say this term, but they're kind of ignorant of what actually happened here at the local level, but they're concerned with the FEMA volatility that they are going to act prematurely and claw that money back and just make a decision sans information and input. But that data has been provided in that spread. I looked at it
Okay.
last week, so I don't have too much concern about it right now. My concern is not echoed with KDEM's concern at this point.
Okay.
I think it's just because they have had turnover and FEMA has had incredible turnover. But as far as I can tell, looking back, Ottawa County has the information, has provided the information, and there really shouldn't be any reason for FEMA to claw that money back.
So are you talking specifically about a grant now?
Well,
That money?
It's in the
Or is that the
grant.
FEMA, or is that the FEMA one
Well,
from
it's
January?
long-term recovery money, but it's managed in the grants portal.
You call it a grant when the FEMA money comes as a grant as well?
That's just the portal that it goes through for him to view
Get it.
anything they document or he documents.
Okay.
and-
And it's not related to the grants that Marie got in the past to fund her,
No,
this
fund
is-
emergency management?
yeah.
no, it's a separate line of effort. It's
Okay.
in the cycle, it's a long-term recovery line of effort, yeah. And that's really what I had to share.
Okay,
And
thank
I'm
you.
sure there's more I don't know, but I just want to kind of provide what insights I had at this point that I thought were important.
All
So
right.
you're officially moved?
Yes and no, there's still quite a bit of residual. It's gonna take me, I think, at least a few more weeks. I've been progressively established.
You're holding.
Keith and I ran another phone line Friday morning and got that set up and working off the wireless. I mean, there's definitely opportunities for improvement in the new space. It'd be great to paint it and get the Farmer in the Dell, border off the wall up there. And it'd be great to get another Wi-Fi.
You're kidding me.
house. I mean, I like it. I mean,
It's
I'm an
historic.
agriculture guy.
You
I'm
don't
sure
have
it's
to like
historic.
it.
I'm an agriculture guy too, but it's not consistent with the professionalism of that office that I
Right.
like to promote, so.
All right,
911 border in its place all the way around. Big
Yes,
Mill
yeah,
Road.
yeah.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
all right.
Thank you.
Any
Thank
questions
you.
of me, gentlemen, Lee?
I believe so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
Hey,
Push snow,
recovered all our material we used for that, replenished it all. We gotta wait on salt a little bit, they're busy, so we did get our sand, got trucks all cleaned back up, and put away, and back to cutting trees.
Okay.
I know a lot of people would be glad to hear that,
Yeah.
cutting trees.
So we're-
Is the ground too hard for ditches right now? Cause that's the other big thing that everybody kept telling me is ditches.
Well, I mean, we can't do both.
I know, I don't mean it like that, I just meant the ground is probably too hard for it.
Right now, it's probably starting to thaw out, but it was.
It's gonna be thawed
In
out this
certain
week.
places too,
Yeah.
you know, if you have a gas line in there and it gets that cold, the gas company will do a no dig and they'll set it to whatever date they want. I mean,
see.
they did one that was until the 27th, so it was for like a week and a half. So if you're around them, they won't sign off on the one call anyways.
So did we ever decide to get rid of them vehicles?
We've talked a little bit about that, you know, out of the shop and figuring out what ones that are having some issues, whether we wanna put the money into it right now, what ones we wanna keep if we do go that route. And
So what do you wanna do? Do you wanna pay those guys or? do
I
you-
don't know, I think that's probably another conversation, you know, once we get some more documents on that.
I don't think there was any problem, was there?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Mainly it was just kinda looking at cost, and then, I don't remember.
Well, I think it would be
Somebody was looking into the insurance side of it if there was a problem, so.
You're talking about vehicles, what are we talking about?
our road grader men driving our vehicles versus,
Getting rid of those trucks.
yeah.
I thought the trucks had already come back to the county yard.
A lot of them, some of them have, I shouldn't say a lot of them, some of them have.
Anyway, well, when they do, we're gonna start paying those guys
Right.
to use their
Pay
own
mileage,
vehicles.
right.
Right, so we need to get that probably.
Yeah.
Other than that, just routine business right now.
Okay.
So the new trucks work great?
Yeah, they did a really good job. We didn't have, I mean, we had a few little hiccups, you know, but that was just, you know, anything with something new. Nut and bolt check, basically. Everything went really well with them.
Did you have something about service?
Oh, where do they get those serviced at, those new trucks? What motor's in it? I don't remember.
We do them.
About warranty work.
Oh, so on that, like, we'll call them, matter of fact, we had a light that was no good.
Yeah.
On one of them we called, and, they actually brought down a light to us, and then if it wasn't that, they were gonna have it shipped up to them. But, you know, just, we contact them, some of it can be done Salina, some of it they're gonna come to us, some of it might have to be taken clear back to Wichita, it just
So-
depends on the.
Okay. Salina, what office in Salina, or what shop in Salina? Freightliner?
Yeah.
Or- Okay. What brand is the truck? What do they call, I don't
Kenworth.
know.
It's a Freightliner.
Oh, it's
It's
Or
Freightliner,
not
No.
Freightliner,
Kenworth.
Kenworth.
Kenworth, okay.
Mhm.
Yep. And Kenworth engine and all that stuff then?
That's a pack car engine.
Pet car? Whoa, never heard of that one.
It's a good
They're
thing.
in a lot of stuff now.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, I'm glad you're having this township meeting, so that, the last one you had, I think, you didn't have one in 2025, did you?
No.
So was it like November of 2024 or something? I went,
Mhm.
it was back then, okay.
All right.
I'm glad you're having it,
That's Tammy's, I'm just gonna go participate.
yeah.
And
I would guess from a township standpoint, though, the roads are the biggest thing, right? Am I crazy?
Depends, we get a lot of different things from them.
I talked to Chris when I scheduled the meetings, make sure he was available and he was
Yeah.
okay with it.
Yeah, make sure it's.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Okay, well, the appraiser's office is probably the busiest, well, no, probably too, the busiest time of the year. We're doing final review, riding all the roads, looking at all the houses. And that will probably go on, we'll mail notices around the 1st of April. So the preparation for that's where we're directing all our energy right now.
Okay. You gonna be here the rest of the day?
That, yeah.
Okay.
So I did talk to Truett over the phone last week, and I didn't understand the protocol on when somebody appeals their property, the valuation. And so what I learned last week via phone conversation was that once they have filed an appeal, the only alternative is to go to the Board of Tax Appeals. You won't re-look at a property.
Right. I mean, we've already had the hearing, they've had the results letter. The results letter states in it that the next step, if they're not satisfied, is to appeal to the Board of Tax Appeals. They have 30 days from the time the date of the letter's mailed.
Right, so that was just good for me to know.
So that's by law?
Yeah.
Okay,
So that he can't readdress it a second time. That's
Right.
what I learned.
yeah, that's what I wanted to know, whether
Yeah.
I won't come and see you then. So if there was the $20 deal we talked
I'm
about,
gonna.
and how
that
far
I
back
can
can you,
do.
how far back can you do that?
Current year and 2 previous.
And that's by law?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was gonna ask you about, I think I sent you an email about those recreational vehicles. Do you have any idea how much we're gonna lose? Not
That
yet?
could just be a wild guess. Did you get my email that I sent this morning back to you?
No, I haven't looked at my computer.
Okay, well, I should have it for you by the end of the week, and it'll still be an estimate.
Yeah, I was just kinda curious what that's gonna do to our revenues. And the other thing is that there's a tax bill that they're discussing at the Capitol about, that 3%, potential 3% cap.
Won't go nowhere.
Well,
I mean,
the part that really concerned me though was they had a 3% cap on existing landowners, but then they also said that if you bought an existing home adjacent to it, it would still be on that 3%. In other words, it wouldn't be bumped up to fair market value. Did you
Right.
understand that? That's what that bill read?
Well, the thing about with the 3% cap, the law says that you have to be at 100%, within 90 to 110%. That 3%'s gonna skew it over the years. Utilities and railroads are considered to be valued at 100% all the time.
Always?
Okay, they'll turn around when you get out of the 90% range, let it get down to 70%, they will sue and they'll win that they're being overtaxed, and then they'll drop by 30% the valuation of the utilities and the railroads. And
then we'll
they're
be in
the
terrible
biggest, they're
position.
the 10 biggest taxpayers in the county.
Yeah, I think they were, 29% of our total valuation, or 27, something big like that. The utilities.
Yeah, I don't.
So you think because of the impact on the utilities that the bill will go nowhere in the state?
Well, it just, but first they'd have to have, it'd have to be put to the voters to change the constitutional, it's a constitutional change.
Amendment? I was
There's
kind
a lot of can of worms.
yeah, I was just concerned about the adjacent house not being
Well,
updated
there's
to fair
one out
market
there
value.
that says that if you buy a house and say we got it at 75,000 and you buy it for 50, we have to give you abatement for that year and the 3 previous years.
Oh.
And then where's that money coming from? And they didn't even own it 3 years before.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why, they would give past
That's
monies.
some rocket scientists
for
got involved there, didn't they?
Yeah,
from property taxes paid by someone previous to them?
that's what it says.
Rebate check to the previous owner.
Well, that's,
Right.
Right.
is that what it went to the previous owner?
I don't know.
Oh,
That was my tongue-in-cheek humor.
well, that's,
Doesn't make any sense.
No, the whole thing's asinine.
All right.
I was just curious on your opinion.
Okay, well, y'all don't have anything else? Is there-
Thank you.
And like I said, this is our busiest times. Anything I need to stick around for?
No,
All right.
work away,
Go have fun.
Yeah.
I just wanted to let you guys know that our property fraud alert and notary fraud is up and live. I would love if you guys signed up for property fraud alert. It's more of a notary system, like a notify system, not an alert system. It's obviously not gonna stop
So-
property fraud, but it's gonna notify if something happens
But
with your name.
have you heard of any, I'm not saying here, but I mean, have you heard of anything happening, anybody around
Not in the like ours
area?
surrounding.
That doesn't mean
counties,
it can't
but
happen,
has happened.
that's not what I'm
Yeah.
saying, but I've wondered about this from time to time when you
Yeah.
hear stuff on the radio and,
So this is a free service to any landowner in Ottawa County.
so what do you,
We have the link on our website under the Register of Deeds. They can go there and sign up. On the flyers too, it has like a little QR code that you can scan. And it's all free service, and as well as the
I
notary
think this,
fraud.
somehow or another, we need to get this out more than just us. Is there any way to,
Well, I've kind of been using the courthouse as my guinea pigs per se, to figure out how it works, when it'll work, all of that per se. So, I did send out a mass email to all the department heads asking them to sign up, which I got great participation. I was actually really surprised. Kudos to them. So I
well,
can,
nobody wants this,
no,
this problem. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
no one wants it to happen. Obviously, this isn't stopping it from happening. The
But I
best
give
thing,
you alert.
yeah, the best thing that I can say is I usually, by word of mouth in a small county, I know when somebody's property is going to be for sale or should be selling.
Right.
So it's nice to know your neighbors. And if something questionable comes across my desk, typically someone knows who to call.
Right.
It basically just will alert the landowner if somebody tries to file a mortgage on my house without me knowing, or tries to file a new deed or whatever.
So the only thing that it's gonna notify you is that your name came across my desk on something.
Okay.
So then that would give you the option to give me a call.
Red
and figure
flag
out
to
what
say
it
I
is.
didn't buy anything, I'm not
Yeah.
buying anything, what's going on here?
Sounds good.
I also want to let you know that Tapestry, which is a search engine that we have now in our office, is an online search engine. It's more of like a one-time search for our office is live. And Laredo Anywhere, which is like a subscription service. We do have one subscriber currently. I'm hoping for more, but one is sufficient.
Okay.
If you're saying that Tapestry is just a public, and you can look up one property,
It's more of like a one-time search. A lot of our like non-local title companies will use it instead of coming to my office, and they just pay like a one-time charge. I don't remember right offhand what that one-time fee is, but anybody could use it technically.
It's cheaper than them coming from Wichita up here.
Correct. It's cheaper than their mileage and the time driving.
Okay.
I also want to let you guys know that at the end of the month, February 25th through the 28th, I will be on vacation. Obviously, my office should be taken care of. I do plan on taking my laptop in case something were to happen, but I'm going to enjoy myself.
I'm glad you have someone there to cover your office.
Yeah. But that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning.
Hey.
So, health and aging, I'll start with health. Just kind of give you a heads up. I'm in the beginnings of the state formula year, so we call it 27, but so our next grants. So I'll write it now, they'll get submitted the 15th of March, and then they'll start July 1st of 26, run through June 30th of 27. And let's see, a couple other things. Little bit, I see Carl here, a little bit of work with the MIH group, and I think they're gonna come up and I know we kind of been talking to Tammy about coming up and presenting to you guys again, so kind of a little update, but a lot of work with that. Trish has been doing a lot of work with WIC, with its reporting more than anything else. Other than that, health department's kind of just clicking along. Aging, we are interviewing for 2 drivers, so yay, we've got a couple of applications in. We'll talk to you guys later about, we'll approve the Council on Aging, those positions a little bit later. And Chris talked about vehicles. We've got a couple that I think we talked about last fall, that will reach out when Chris, if he has anything that he will put up for sale on Purple Wave. I've got that original bus and we've got one of our vans that are up, and they're already out of our service, so.
Where they at?
They're parked in front of my building, so, yeah.
So
it'll be nice.
so you're not using them any longer?
No, so
Is
we
there
got.
any way you could maybe take them out, just get them out of your
Yeah,
area?
we've talked about that, and we've done that, I mean, I don't know, in years past, but yeah, especially that bus, it's a big old bus.
Yeah, we could do like we did that last
We
go.
did. So yeah, we've got one van, one we're holding on to because we're still having trouble with the two new ones, so yeah, we'll have two that we can
Yeah,
get rid
we'll
of. so it'll be
try
great.
to get rid of,
Yeah.
not get rid of it, but move
No,
it
no,
that
no.
way, cause I,
Make some space,
Yeah.
I agree. So yeah, that's really all I have.
So, do you wanna share about the Golden Wheel not having a cook for 3 weeks?
Well, if you want me to talk about that now.
wait just a minute here. So what,
Yeah, you do get me later, so all I can tell you, I know that.
let's talk about that after.
You want to?
Yeah.
Yeah, after Chris, nope, I love it, that'd be perfect.
So you're done with what you're,
I am, that's all
Okay.
I have for office
okay,
updates.
so you're staying though?
I am, you
That's
get me
good.
again.
Alright, so, solid waste.
Cool. Do you want my update?
Oh, yeah.
I forgot about you.
I know. Okay, I guess I'm gonna come up here. I have lots of little things, so I'll just kind of quickly review. HR, we're just, still continuing to do policies. We're hoping to get a big chunk of those out of the way here in the next couple months to redo books, to get them out. We're working on redoing our inventory and our inventory process. So Joe is currently working on that. And then, of course, our pay scale rolled out in January along with new insurance and dental. So we're working through all the bugs and the kinks with that. Clerk side, accounts payable, we are working on getting W-9s, figured out that there's a lot of things that we need to clean up in that. So we're working on doing that, obviously videoing of the meetings. I work on the motor vehicle abstract, the Kansas Department of Commerce incentive, transparency database that passed in legislation 2 years ago, so I'm working on our piece of that transparency database.
Tell me that again, I'm sorry.
The Kansas Department of Commerce transparency database.
What's that mean?
We have to turn in, pieces of anything that we use for incentivizing anybody or any entities. So it's a review of all of that. They talked about it at KAC, I think you were part of that. Kansas Department of Commerce, the transparency database, you can go online and see what we've done in the past. We're also working on getting the annual reports. There's lots and lots of meetings this time of year, just juggling those. It's actually on the agenda to discuss with you all the different types of meetings we have coming up.
For example, like Jason has the one in Salina right now, that's why he left. Just so
Well,
everybody knows.
Yes, but I mean, you guys have a lot as far as
Right, right.
information or like,
Right.
that we're all doing, yes. And then I have like a PIO conference, I'll be leaving Monday and I'll be gone Tuesday and Wednesday at least. I'll be in Lincoln, Nebraska for that. So it's kind of exciting. I'm also working on the disorganization of North Ottawa County School District, so we're going to get with the appraiser, changing of tax units, changing of election stuff, figuring out where disbursements go and delinquencies, so working on that. Election side, 379 bond election is March 3rd, it's through Clay County, we do have 14 voters involved in that, so I'm working on doing all the requirements for that election. We're prepping for the 2026 gubernatorial election currently in place. There's a constitutional amendments both on the primary and the general.
Wait, can I go back to the 379 bond election? You're saying that's, how many people are involved in that county?
Our county right now is 14.
14 people, and so do they come into your office, those 14 people, or how does
So-
that work?
So it's my choice. I decided to go and send everybody to Clay County for this, so I'll be sending out letters to them. And that's mainly to help with the cost in general, so it will be reimbursable by the taxing entity, any sort of election like that. If I do it in my office, I still have to be ADA compliant, so I would still have to program an ADA machine. We would still have to print everything off, I'd have to pay election workers. My budget's reimbursed, so I'm not worried about my budget, but I am worried about, if I did that and then Cloud County has less than 10 voters, that they'd have to do that. So I've been working with the different neighboring joint counties and saying, how do we wanna handle this? It's
Yeah,
not
it
my
makes
favorite way to
sense.
do it,
I was trying to,
prefer-
I thought you said a really low number, and I was like, what do you do for 14?
Yeah, and I really do prefer to do it with ours, but when you look at the cost, because you have to have all those things, we just have, and I wanna do jointly what everybody else is doing. Like, we wanna work together and make sure we're not sending a mixed message to voters. Of course, prepping for the gubernatorial, getting ready, getting some fiscal notes together for the Secretary of State's office, or some legislation going through. Biggest and most exciting thing is I did go to speak up at some legislative receptions last week. It was really incredible to represent smaller counties especially. I got to, hear testimony of the House Election Committee. I got to speak with people on the committee, talk to Pat Proctor, just being able to have a voice. And then you were talking about 3%. They're also talking about, so I got to speak with Adam Smith, who had the Astra bill last year. And he's representing a new bill this year, and there's something about a 3% cap on budget and really kind of using other revenue streams. And so I was able to say, for a small county where we don't have sales tax, where we rely on real estate tax because ag values are down, you take away commercial, you took away personal property, that's not a great idea. That really puts us in a pickle, because then we're gonna there's still that Astra piece of, you would get compensated or incentivized with some sort of like LAVTR money. It's not LAVTR, but it's the same concept. But it takes that away from us because we don't have that opportunity, because we're gonna have to go where, if our insurance goes up 17%, if aggregate and oil goes up, all of those things, paying wages. All of that requires that 3% raise in it. So, I did that the first day. The second day I did a lot with the Secretary of State's office. Went to KAC. Jay Hall, our KAC guy, has announced, I think we've all heard, that he is moving on. So it was really just, I'll just tell you, just an incredible opportunity to really not only represent clerks and elections, but also a smaller county, representing Ottawa County, getting our name out there and shaking hands. And I had a lot of really meaningful conversations that first night. The second day I did not, because of the bathroom bill. Governor Kelly spoke, and then we were supposed to have a panel, and that didn't happen because they were discussing the bathroom bill. And I think the reception just at that point was a little more of a bust, but I got to do it the day before, so that was nice. That's it.
At the KAC, when I went to the house, Dawn got to go up and present an award to the Kansas Wesleyan group. Becca was recognized or whatever, and she was up there. And so I took a picture of her, and then they said you can't take pictures from the gallery.
Yeah, right.
I didn't know that, but I was just taking a picture of Dawn being at the front. So
Must have been what Russ was talking about.
What?
Well, he told me he had a warrant for her arrest.
yeah, I could give them my pictures, but they really emphasize the importance of knowing our representatives. Of course, Dawn's easy because she was right here, but just knowing and to be that voice when things are taking place. So. They
really
have such a short service time there. They serve 90 days. They're already into that cycle 20, and then they're gone. It's like.
Well, this is a shorter legislative session than usual too.
Yeah, so it's just like, wow.
They did vote on a shorter session, so.
So it sounds like true. It doesn't sound like the 3% is going to go anywhere, or the Astra
You
bill.
guys talking about two different 3%, though.
Yeah, but is the Astra bill? I didn't ask him about the Astra bill. Do you think that's a possibility, the Astra bill?
Well, you got to remember all the bills that are introduced. You're looking at the bills that were introduced last year, and we have an additional 200 bills that were just this year. Signing die hasn't happened yet, and so they won't all clean the slate until next year. So there's lots of election bills out there. The biggest one is moving municipal elections
some of the stuff they had
even years.
up there for Omaha, you'd be crazy.
There's just so many.
So the election bill, what they were saying is that they thought it was too tedious, that people wouldn't pay attention to the local elections if they moved them up.
Yeah, there's lots of reasons to, and that's the test. Trying to figure out what testimony, if you're going to be a proponent or not for it or just stay neutral. So sometimes you got to watch if they're really going to go anywhere. What I thought was important too is I got to talk to some of the House Election Committee members about small changes. So they want to change our advance envelope, which I'm okay with. The problem is, as a small county, I have to buy in bulk to make it affordable. And if you change them every year,
Oh,
Not
wow.
good.
It's really expensive.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So just kind of really pointing out that I'm not one of the top 5 counties. And I mean, it's not easy on them either, but $5,000 in my budget is percentages. 5,000 their budget is point percentages.
Right.
And just really advocating for, hey, I know we're not the top 5, but you're costing us a lot of money.
Yeah,
You
there's
wanna know what our
100 other
budget-
counties
Yeah,
that it's
you
affected.
wanna cap our budgets, but you're the reason why unfunded mandates are why we're spending them. So, and those unfunded mandates can be as small as changing envelope, verbiage, so.
Yeah.
It was really, really, really beneficial, I felt really good about it, it was really incredible to talk and really represent, so,
Thank you for going.
yep.
Yeah, I'm glad
Yes,
you were
thank
there.
you very much.
We're a voice for the rural counties.
Yeah, anything else for me? Okay, alright.
Happy trails.
Not going very far.
So is Jody not here?
I was talking to Jeff.
Is Jody not here, or is she shorthanded, or?
Okay.
She'll be all right. She's probably busy. All right, so let's move on. Solid waste.
Thanks for coming up.
All it is a reminder of the meetings tonight. And
So what,
Good.
so are we still going with who says they're gonna be chairman?
We will get that. As
Okay.
long as somebody will run, or we nominate somebody to change that. And that's part of what we can do tonight in that meeting, is pick chairman, vice chair, all
Can you
that.
be the chairman?
I don't know for sure, honestly.
You
And
don't
then-
wanna be, do you?
Not really. And then also, we still have, that also comes with the committee, we have to
Right.
agree on everybody that's on it, if they're showing up and they're being active, we can accept them, and just stuff that we have to report back
Right.
to KDHE.
6 o'clock?
Yep,
Now, are we actually voting members of that?
yes,
Yes,
you
we
are,
are.
you guys are, yes.
Okay. Thought maybe we were observers.
Nope.
Nope.
So the last meeting they talked about reducing, did you see I sent you a
I
couple emails.
gotta read it a little bit.
But
We talked
remember
about
when-
reducing the amount of numbers. too.
Yeah, the committee members, did
I-
we do that?
I thought I included the committee list in your guys' envelope, maybe I didn't.
I didn't see a
Okay.
list.
Yes, so when I gave the attendance list to Chris, we did reduce it.
Yeah, but this is what it is now.
Oh, can I have a copy then?
You can have this one if you want.
Just to see who's on there, cause it is shorter
It
than.
was that whole page before.
Yeah.
Right.
So hopefully
I
we'll
think
get
there's 23 or 24 people on there.
so hopefully we'll have enough people.
By
Good.
statute, we have to have at least 5.
Carl, would you wanna be on it?
Thought you were cutting some.
Well, we need a chairman.
Oh, chairman.
Carl, could I get a copy of that too?
Yeah, and the other thing, so did you see that I sent you a revised schedule to show that, so the number I put in there initially was the amount we had talked with them when we had the meeting, and then remember when we did the budget meeting? And we realized that the problem was, when we had the discussion with this committee, we covered the increase in cost. What we didn't cover was the decreasing cash balance. So when we came in at budget time, we increased a lot more than we presented at this meeting. So I went ahead and, at the very bottom, I put down what the cash balance was in that fund, so they could see that it went down 60,000 over the last 4 years, and that's why we had to bump it so much.
All right.
But,
We'll talk about that tonight.
yeah, I just wanted to make sure you got my latest
I
schedule.
gotta look at it, I didn't get to study it too hard.
Yeah, well, I initially put in the ones that we had discussed at the meeting, then I realized we bumped them up, so I just, thought we had to maybe justify that with this committee, since we didn't
We
use
should,
it.
yes.
Can you make 3 copies? Or 2, one for me and one for,
This,
yeah.
okay,
Please.
And then
I
that's all
can
I
keep
got.
this?
Yeah, and
Okay.
that's all I got for solid waste.
All right. You got anything else?
Do you want me to share that schedule tonight?
Yeah.
Make copies?
Yeah, I think that'd be
Okay.
good. There's something else, I can't remember what, bridge is coming along good,
Hey, is it open?
not yet.
Oh.
But the weather put a hold on it.
Okay,
last
so
week, but-
we wanna make sure, and I think everybody's on base with this, I got a call from Mike Smith, fire chief.
Yeah.
The guy wanted to burn that.
Yep, I told him no, and then after, cause I called Mike, talked to him, got his feels on it. with everything surrounding that, we all decided it was not a good idea. Took a little work to get back in contact with him, so I jumped right to the inspector and called him, and the inspector had already told him you're not burning it.
What
So
were
is
they
it
burning?
their wood pile, tree pile, which were green trees that wouldn't have burnt, and it would have smoked Jerry Stelter and everybody else out. But what I'm curious about, whose responsibility they need to haul?
Yep, and I did tell them that they're more than welcome to take them out to the missile base, that way they don't have, whatever kind of backhaul on that.
Was there anything in the contract about that, or, I mean, can we make them do that?
It's in the contract, it's in the plans.
Okay. Well, I'd rather not, that,
There's too many variables there, with
Yeah.
the elevator being right there, the house, the bridge not being open yet, so if there was a fire,
nobody could get
you
across.
still got however many miles around.
Yeah, not good.
Right,
Yeah.
all right. Glad we got that slowed down or stopped. All
Thank you,
right.
sir.
Yep, that's all I got, thanks guys.
I thought solid waste, I asked you 3 questions. One was to give you the revised amount. One was who was on the committee. Oh, about the weight thing. So, do you know how often Hardesty weighs the tonnage people?
Once or twice a year.
You think they do?
I know that he did
Yeah.
it once, but we can
And
ask
for
him
to-
tonight.
For him to get scales on his stuff is gonna be insane.
50,000 or
Well, I
more.
just didn't know, so the last information I had was from 2024, and I didn't know if, obviously, we can back into the amount of tonnage we dropped at Salina based on the cost per ton, but then to try to figure out how much they build, how much we build to our tonnage people to see if it made
But,
sense.
and,
Well, I have all that, I get
Yeah.
that from them every year.
yeah,
That's part of setting the special assessment. I
right.
get a list of tonnage from them every year.
But for the 93 people, the tonnage people, the 93
Well, I
tonnage
get more than
customers,
93, but they'd have to figure out
who are
commercial.
tonnage people? So
Well,
they do it every year, okay.
Yeah.
I had that one scheduled, but I didn't have anything from 2025. You got something from Hardesty from 2025?
I think it's 25, it's what I got for last tax
Yeah.
statement.
Let's talk about it tonight. We'll
Yeah,
get it
but
from you.
it's, it's something that, we'll talk about tonight.
He had, I mean, I know they did it last year when we were, anyway.
Okay, I just was curious how often they did it, but they do it at least once a year to see if it looks right. And then they use those amounts to bill out for the assessments, whatever.
I use those amounts, not them, they don't bill them out, I use them to bill out these assessments, but there's a lot more to it than just, here's the tonnage, there's a lot of figuring that goes into that. So you guys just need to set the tonnage and that kind of thing, and I'll take care of the other part of that.
I guess I was trying to figure out if we are, the amount we're billing to the tonnage people is, remember they were making no contribution other than covering the cost of the
Right.
tonnage, and trying to figure out if it's reallocated more appropriately for, the tonnage customers.
You guys charge tonnage customers $78 a ton.
Right, and to know whether or not, how much of that's being used to cover the cost in and above I assume it's gonna go up another $2 per ton next year, or
I
20.
haven't heard yet,
You haven't
more
heard?
than likely.
All right, well,
It
Yeah.
seems
see
to
what
be
Dave
it
has to say
usually
tonight about it.
does.
That's what it
Yeah.
usually does, and just to make sure that, we made that big adjustment in this assessment, and to make sure that that's covering a greater percentage of those, costs, other than just the
Right.
tipping fees.
Yep, so you guys would figure that, and then when I get all that stuff in, then I will figure out from there who has to do tonnage and commercial.
We'll find out from Dave tonight what he
Yeah.
says about what they're going up, because I'm sure they give him some idea.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll have an idea.
Okay, see you at 6.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
So for this next part of the meeting, it's the Board of Health. You guys would actually need to adjourn as the Board of County Commissioners, and then would reconvene as the Board of County Health.
Board of Health.
I
Board of
move to
Health.
adjourn as a county commission meeting at
10:09.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded to adjourn as a county commission meeting at 10:09. Moved and seconded, is there any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. So, let's call this,
So do we adjourn or reconvene or we recess?
That you adjourn, and then now you will, convene as the Board of Health.
okay,
And
so
then
I'm,
when we come back, what do we do?
Then you'll convene as the Board of County Commissioners. You'll adjourn as the Board of Health.
I move to,
Convene.
convene with the Board of Health as a,
10:10.
You're perfect.
Yeah.
You're perfect.
I'll second it.
Can I have an agenda?
Motion.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
So, we haven't done, Carla and Dwayne, I don't think we've done this with you. So welcome, you guys, and at the bottom of that agenda, I've got a spot there where you can, let me know how you wanna do this. So, while we're doing this, think about that. Okay, first thing,
Is that your pen on the floor?
yes?
Right
okay.
by your feet?
There
You're
you
stepping
go.
on it?
Tammy hooked me in. Okay, so the first thing you have, we're gonna get the county health officers, or county appointments, and you guys did get a form from Tammy. I did not bring you one today. I can share that again. But who
Right.
we'd like you to approve,
Uh-huh.
reappoint. County health officer would be Tricia Smith. Your pharmacy consultant would be Melanie Cooter. And then we would first time appoint your medical consultant as Dr. Peter Meyer.
Is Melanie the pharmacist?
So what are you holding
at
that
the-
other paper up for? If you're not- I mean, what do you hold, I've got it,
Oh, you got it, good deal.
I
but,
don't think I do.
Is Melanie the pharmacist at
It's
the
on the
hospital?
agenda.
I don't believe that they have, I mean,
Okay.
I don't know that they have a pharmacist as a staff person. Melanie could be their consultant as well.
To the hospital?
so she live here?
Yeah, she does.
And I guess I
And
sent
she
you-
only pops in a few times. I mean, like, she'll go through, all of our meds that we have, all of our different vaccines and so forth. She looks for, outdates, just different things. She's just kind of that backup to us. If we choose to do some programs that we're not doing right now, we would use her much more. But it's kind of, and we don't pay her a lot to do what she does, so we're very grateful that she will come in and just do that for us. So it's just a nice relationship.
Okay.
It kind of creates that.
I sent you an email saying on our agenda it had this health department medical consultant. We don't have that position.
Right there, Dr. Peter Meyer.
Well, we had health,
Okay, this paper here, do you have this paper?
we have
Sarah,
health officer,
I found it.
medical consultant, and health director. There were 3 positions.
Do you have this
listed.
paper?
I know, but I'm just going back to the agenda to ask you, we don't have this position. This says medical consultant.
Yes. The medical consultant,
This
if
is
you look
from
on,
Tammy, baby.
if you look on hers, she says medical consultant, Dr. Peter Mayer, both on her agenda and in your agenda, it says that.
Health
I don't know.
officer
Did
was
you not get that
Trish.
page?
It's down at the bottom, right here, on the health.
I don't know, Carla got that page.
Oh, which page?
Oh, yeah, right there. He's right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
There were just 4 listed here, 4 appointments, but there were only 3 listed there. That was on my only question.
Yeah, no, you're good, you're good.
These are the
So
ones-
like, here's Tricia, and there's, the medical consultant, and then there's the pharmacy consultant.
Yeah, there were just
The
4
one,
listed.
the fourth one is Sarah, but Sarah's not talking about that one right now. So
Oh, okay.
right now, she's only on those 3, so I think
This
we're
is
kinda getting.
Sarah. Okay.
And that's what it says on the agenda, is Sarah there.
All
But
right,
we're not there yet.
So do we do a special, motion
Yes.
for those 3?
Yep, if you would,
or individually.
oh, I think you've done that, it's up to you guys. It really is, I think if you did, Tammy, can they do a
They
3,
can do
yeah,
whatever they
you
want.
guys can appoint the health officer, the medical consultant, and the pharmacy consultant all in one motion if you'd like to.
Okay,
I would move that we appoint County Health Officer Tricia Smith, medical consultant, Dr. Peter Meyer, pharmacy consultant, Melanie Cooter for Ottawa County.
I'll second that.
It's moved and seconded to appoint County Health Officer as Tricia Smith, medical consultant Dr. Peter Meyer, and physician or pharmacy consultant Melanie Cooter. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And I did put,
Do we move to approve the representative for the aging, Council on Aging?
yeah, we can do that next.
Okay.
Tammy, do you have appointing me on
Yes.
your
Yeah.
list?
On my agenda, yes.
Okay, on your agenda?
Yes.
Okay, never mind. Okay, so yes, if you
So-
guys wanna jump to that piece, that is perfect.
So I'll move to approve. Do you want me to list them? George Powell and Jerry Van Meter for Ada, Sandra Long and Judith Swaggerty for Bennington, Susan Main for Delphus, Doug Plummer and Sheila Reed for Golden Wheel, and Al Slater and Joan Salone for the Niles, as representative on the Ottawa County on Aging Council.
I will second that.
It's moved and seconded to appoint George Powell and Jerry Van Meter as the Ada Senior Center of Aging, and Sandra Long and Judy Swaggerty of Bennington Senior Center, Susan Main as the Delphi Senior Center, Doug Plummer and Sheila Reed as the Golden Wheel Senior Center, and Al Slater and Joanne Sullivan as the Nile Senior Center. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and so the other one I'm gonna interrupt for just a minute is that mental health director. The reason we didn't do Sarah with all the other department heads, I wanna keep all health together. So if you guys wanna appoint, Sarah Hodges as the health director, this would be the time to do that.
So I'll appoint Sarah Hodges as the Health Director for Ottawa County.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded to appoint Sarah Hodges as the Health Director of Ottawa County. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
That's why there were so many listed on here and they weren't attached. That's why I was like,
Yep, so what Sarah needs for hers, ours is part of the county. That's why I was like, you haven't
Okay.
gotten there quite yet, like.
all right, I get it.
Sorry, and I know it, and I have some thoughts on how we can structure this and make it a little more routine infill for you guys too. Okay, so that next piece, I wanna hit on just a couple things. Grant applications, I already told you guys that I'm getting ready for the upcoming grants. I will tell you, the grants that I'm running right now are 2026, and we started this grant year with the state holding back part of our emergency preparedness funds. Well, we got those back, so we received notice that we were awarded the extra $3,336 that they had held. So that grant then is $11,120. So
Is
we're
that-
back to fully funded.
Is that normal procedure?
No, not at all.
Do they hold
How
back?
much was it?
Okay, so the total that we have for the year will be 1,120, and that's what you guys approved my grant for last spring. So no, Dwayne, not at all.
11,000?
11,000, yeah.
You said 1,100.
11,120.
Okay.
Thank you,
Yeah.
So
Scott.
they had withheld part of that at the beginning of the year, not
Yeah.
knowing if funding was gonna come through or what?
Yes, yeah, when
Oh.
everything happened at the
Okay.
federal, so yeah, that is very not normal.
Okay.
So, and I actually didn't expect to get it back, so there's
All right.
that cleans that piece up. And just a little heads up, that would go towards travel, that I'm doing anyway, so they're picking up, you know, what we would pay in match. Travel, 800 radio batteries and then nighttime. State Formula 27, the only thing I would note is that, I'm gonna apply for the same amounts that we did last year. A lot of those are dependent on how much, you know, your population, what your programming is. So very easily, so it'll look like last year. They've split one grant out, and that actually, Carl's here in the room. There's a universal home visitor program that we're pushing and we're working towards, and they've split that out as a separate grant. So when I come see you in February, in a few weeks, that grant's due March 15th, so probably end of February, I'll come see you and we'll get that out. I'll know exactly what they're allowing me to do with that. So that's the only change in grants as we move through the next year. And I guess the only other little nugget I did have is we're in the process of a 5-year strategic plan, and we can kind of talk about how often you want to meet. If you want to do like a January meeting where we do appointments and maybe hear prep for, you know, what my grant year will be, we could do like a summer meeting where we kind of talk about what that strategic plan looks like and some of the programming. So that was just kind of my suggestion. If you wanted to meet as a Board of Health more often, that could be a way to look at that. Because we talked about that in the old days, maybe having a January and a July. And we could do that. With this, we just get the business done. And then in
So it'd
July,
have to
maybe
be in
talk
July?
about, yeah, maybe talk a little bit about
I said,
more.
would it have to be in July?
No, it would have, it's your meeting. It can be whenever it works.
I don't have a
for
problem with
your-
January, and I
Mhm.
would, I mean, I don't know if we could move it to
I just thought mid-year.
September.
Sure.
I
If
mean,
you even want.
No, I
Yeah.
think it's, I honestly think
Yeah.
it's a good deal,
Thanks.
Yeah.
in my opinion.
So are you implementing for the first time a 5-year plan, you're
Oh my
creating this?
goodness.
Or is
Yeah,
it a
we're-
roll forward?
No, we're making it a little more formal.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So give me an idea of what you would be planning 5 years out for Ottawa County. Just-
Well, for us, it's gonna be a little, we'll be pulling from data. I mean, you know, what are the needs of the community? What should we be doing? And so we'll look at that and then kind of guide our work so that we're not thinking just year at a time. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? I know, and I should have done it
It's all right.
many years ago.
So do
yeah.
you foresee, I mean, I'm not that great a visionary person, so do you see, has a lot changed from like 2 years ago to where we are now in Ottawa County as far as what health needs to be?
Yeah, so a
Programming?
lot of it, when I'm thinking strategically about the office, it really does come to what funding do I have available, what partners do I have available, and what the needs are. And so this kind of, working through this process will help us make sure that we are doing the right thing and we do have the right partners in place. So like even my work with, the mobile integrated health with Carl and Tony, I mean, that's something that, wasn't on
Is
my
new,
radar.
yeah.
So by doing this, it'll kind of give us a little bigger feel, of what we should be doing, what my partners are telling me the holes are.
Does the state give you projections of, based on our employment or based on our residents, you know, whether we're going up, going down, our population? So you can project 5 years out. I mean, I don't know what we're gonna be looking like in 5 years.
Right.
But you have a little insight into that?
No, I mean, the state, so really that's on us. So like Jody, I know you're gonna probably see Jody Parks at the hospital at some point. This was their year to do their, community health improvement plan. So that's part of that gathering piece, and that's every 3 years. And you know, I put down 5, and if we did an every 3 year, that's probably a more, I mean, I don't know, bigger projects, you'll do a 5-year out. But we could definitely, and see, this is something that we can talk about as a Board of Health. What do you guys wanna see to help you guys support me to make the right decisions to serve our folks? So yeah, that's gonna be a big piece, that community health, the community health assessment. And then they will also do a health improvement plan. So by having all of that data, that kind of gives us an idea, okay,
Yeah.
so these are what they've identified, this is how they're gonna work on those, what other partners, you know, need to be involved in that. And then there may be some other partners that haven't been surveyed, that maybe to give us a bigger picture of other pieces of the county, maybe some youth data and different things. So that's really on the health department to kind of do that local, data gathering and then know what to do with it.
I would love to see this plan, like what you see the needs of our
Yeah.
county, even for year 1.
Yeah.
To kind of see if we're
What we got,
addressing it,
yeah.
and especially before the budget cycle, if there's anything that we need
Yeah.
to build into that 2027 budget.
And that's what it's for. I have access to, and just because I participate at the public health level, we have something called Academy of Science that is done with NACCHO, which is our national association, and it's a survey library. So we have got access to be able to create surveys, or borrow surveys that have been done in other places. So part of what, you know, we will do is figure out what areas of our community do we need to hear from, and how can we gather that extra data to kind of create that picture. So
And you
I'm
have a-
getting there.
And you also have you also belong to the Kansas Association, right?
Oh, sure.
And
Called,
so
yeah.
so from a rural county
Yeah.
standpoint,
So
like what
called,
are consistent with other rural counties?
well, sure. And like our support with called, you know, even in that space, they're our Kansas librarian. So we have our own Kansas surveys, and we tried to create, I participated in that board to help work on some of those surveys, to make them to where we're all using the same surveys. That way we can all compare data.
Uh-huh.
So yes, that has been our intent for a
Yeah.
couple of years. I think there was federal funding with COVID funds that helped kind of facilitate Kansas into that space, and yeah, it's a great group.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're moving
Just to
in that
know what all
direction.
you do.
And what we
in
should be
county
doing.
health
I
department.
mean,
And
where
what
you
your
should be,
focus are, and what your priorities are, that's good to
and
know.
where you guys should be spending your money. I mean, that kind of a thing. Yeah.
Dwayne, so I also have to do a population survey every year, and so you can see projections through that. So it's a big, long thing that I have to do as well. I think it's actually coming due again the next 2 months or so. So there's a lot of data points that we have to include, and I think that would go to, and it's on, again, all this stuff, there's lots of resources out there, just getting out there, it's all available online on the website, finding those websites,
It's
finding
hard.
the information.
Well,
yeah.
Tammy, I didn't know you did anything
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Mhm.
Is it just demographics, or is it?
It's a long list, I'll have to show it to you,
Okay.
and come see me, and I'll give you the link, cause it's just a state site, but a lot of, all that reporting is done
Very
through
good.
us, kinda like with the Kansas Department of Commerce I was talking earlier, like, there's a lot of
Right.
reporting I have to do on our county to provide data for Lake
Very
Sarah to
good.
do these things.
So yeah,
Good
no,
to know.
it's a good thing, and it's just something that, I know it's 5 years past COVID now, but it's one of those things that just really got stalled, and we just gotta get it picked up, so we're just kinda, 26 is the year, so. Cool. So if you guys are okay, I can look at like a September date to kinda bring this group back together, sound good? Okay.
And
Yeah.
of course, if there's something that you're gonna bring to us in your budget for 2027 that you see
Yeah.
that is lacking, obviously we'll have those discussions in April.
No, you'll see me, and hopefully before that even, I mean, once we get kinda rolling. I anticipate those grants coming in the same as they were before. They've already reduced the, it's called IAP, it's Immunization Action Plan, so that's our Vaccines for Children program. They took those grant numbers back to 2019, they did that in this last grant. They're not coming back. I mean, I didn't think I'd get the emergency preparedness funding back, but that did, so that was great. But yeah, the immunization funding, that will not come back. So that could be a concern as we move forward. And I guess my only other question for you guys, are you, I mean, in years past, you've had other folks on this board with you. If you guys are okay to just kind of start with the 4 of us, and then maybe we can talk about that in September. I'll put that on that agenda to kind of talk about if there's anybody in your mind that.
Carl.
Do you have board bylaws for this?
No, we do not.
Okay.
Good question.
I wonder,
I'm
is this
sure-
the same as them being like a Board of County Canvassers, is it by title? I'm just curious, or is there actually a Board of Health where they need to?
Board of Health has to be the county commissioners,
Yeah,
but
not
they
the canvassers.
can, yeah, they can. In years past, there was a big push that each of the 3 had someone from their district on the Board of Health. So-
That differs.
So they can add, and so I guess I'm challenging you guys to maybe kind of
So
think
you're
about
not
that.
sure how, when we set ours up for Ottawa County, how many people we initially put on the board? You don't know.
No, that's not what
You're-
I'm saying at all.
yeah,
That's,
no.
that's not what I'm saying.
No, we're good.
I'm talking to Sarah about, is this by name only, or
Yeah.
is there another opportunity for other things? And she's saying yes, there's
Yeah, there
opportunities
is.
for other things.
You guys are the mandatory, but if you do want to hear voices from other people as part of this, that is your right to bring that in. And we can kind of,
Yeah, anybody, I mean, in the Ottawa County resident.
I was trying to think, you've had, a dietitian, you've had a school nurse, and I can't think of who the other one was.
Somebody in the profession.
Yeah, I mean, that probably that I would work with, so that you could kind of get a feel for, you know, I don't know, what their needs might be and how we can talk about working together differently or just has a different perspective as
Yeah.
well. But yeah, you guys are good. We can put that on in
Yeah.
September and kind of nail that down a little
Yeah,
bit more.
good.
Okay, very good.
Make people get names.
Yeah, and it can just be you, but I think the board at that time was unsure about how much they knew about public health. And so they kind of reached out to partners that they knew that knew more about public health to kind of, it was kind of a little safety, I don't know, security bit for them, which is super fine with me.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
that's why I would like to see your strategic plan to say
Well,
what your
Carla,
priorities.
I will be.
Be all of it,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just something that,
I mean, I know your budget,
to
and I know we
push us.
went through that line item by line item, but as far as what your priorities are
Mhm.
of the Board of Health Act.
and how we use those, how we
Yeah.
use that funding. So no, that's exactly what our conversations are, so no, it'll be great.
Great.
Very good. Well, you guys, that is all I have for Board of Health.
Can you stay?
Now,
Oh,
sorry.
go on.
You had a question. So, yeah, Carla, I know you emailed
Do
me.
do we wanna adjourn the Board of Health meeting and go back to reconvene the?
Is it about Board of Health or is it about?
No, it's,
Is this now about aging?
yeah,
or-
Carla had some, yeah, let's just go ahead and close.
So,
If
so-
you guys are okay, we'll close that and then
So I'll
get
move
some
to
questions.
adjourn the Board of Health meeting at 10:30.
I second that.
It's moved and seconded to adjourn the Board of Health meeting at 10:30. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
And I'll move to reconvene the county commissioning meeting at 10:30.
I will second that.
And it's moved and seconded to reconvene the county commission meeting at 10:30. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
You have your executive session stuff.
To read?
With her?
No, I want to see it first.
Did you want,
Yeah,
did you want it with Sarah?
yeah,
Is it regarding,
that's why I'm looking.
do you wanna talk before I talk about the cook?
No, go ahead.
Were you gonna talk about the cook?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can.
So
I can talk a little bit.
So I went to the Golden Wheel and they said that we haven't had a cook for 3 weeks. And so I didn't know, and they had concerns that Linda wasn't getting actively searching. How about that for, and
I think that's fair.
so do we need to reach out to Linda as a commission to get her on the job, or tell us what we should do?
So, not yet, but you're on my radar.
Do you feel
talked to
she's working
Sheila.
on it?
I talked to Sheila Reed, who's one of the board members, and did ask Sheila if I needed to bring you big guns in. And she does want me to hang on just a bit.
She said not yet.
Yeah, she said not yet, so
Because
yeah.
so
I
3
know.
weeks without senior meals for our county is disturbing for me.
So I think
So there was none at all?
No, they're
Okay.
out of freezer meals.
Yes, so we're again to, Flint Hills does not have, kitchen staff for that program.
But they're responsible for hiring kitchen
Yeah.
staff for us, for the Golden Wheel.
Yeah,
And they're
so
not
I guess
living up
again,
to it.
to talk through that whole scenario again, the Golden Wheel plays host to the Meals on Wheels program that is the North Central Flint Hills Area Agency on Aging's program. And they hire a cook and they hire a manager. So like the cook obviously is the kitchen management, and then the manager, primarily what they do is all of the paperwork that has to go back and forth to make that program work. So they do. Flint Hills has 2 staff employees, and they also have a staff employee at our Bennington Center because they are an eat-in center. So we have 1 cook in Bennington and 2 staff members in Minneapolis that are all Flint Hills employees.
Right. They're actually classified as a cook in Bennington.
I
or-
think so, or she,
whatever.
gosh, Dwayne, I'm
No,
not real sure on
Becky?
that.
in
Yes,
Bennington?
Becky.
No, she's just a site manager.
Site manager.
Just,
Okay, there we go.
just like
Okay.
Christie is.
That's what I
Yeah.
thought, yeah,
So yeah, it's a big struggle.
yeah.
And I know if you talk to some of the Golden Wheel board members, they will express their concern. that the wages that Flint Hills pays is crazy low.
It's $8.06 an hour, and and the Golden Wheel subsidizes it over $3 an hour to make it, so they can find staff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really feel, I mean, and this is, again, just me, I really feel like, and they get to subsidize that with the funding that you guys give them. We do apportionments to each of those centers. And they are grateful for that apportionment because that is primarily
How they can fund that. And cover all their utilities and insurance.
Yeah.
I mean,
And other
it's to
things.
cover all their
Yeah,
expenses.
all those little centers that,
Yeah.
that, you know, are meeting and serving the public, absolutely have all those.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have those two staff members that it's just hard to find.
So
yeah.
I'm grateful we have Becky, and I'm grateful we
Yep.
have Christy,
Yep.
but we have to have a cook.
Yep. So I do understand that they're struggling again. I will tell you,
Everything Linda is
we
still
talk about Linda, and it's true. Linda is actually the person who, from Flint Hills, that's supposed to be working with the site managers, not the cooks. The
So what
gal
are we
who
gonna do
did
about it?
that retired long ago. They hired a great young gal that we really liked, and she did it. So again, Linda's back to doing both jobs. So
Is she responsive to your pleas for help, or are they on ignore?
that's why I pestered you last time, because she wasn't, and we are getting right back there again.
Well, so
That they're
So
not.
what do we need to do?
So
Because
has
we can't have these people without food.
Has Julie Govert Walker is the executive director of North Central Flint Hills Area Agency on Aging. She is supposed to come visit all of her counties once a year. Have you guys ever met her?
is she a
up here?
president? You said president?
She's the director of Flint Hills.
Director of Flint Hills?
So, yeah, so
I
there's
wonder if she came when they came and gave their budget presentation. You think she was there
Really?
then? I'm thinking, I've seen her.
I did not
I
know that
think
she was
that-
up here.
It's ringing a bell with me too,
Yeah, I probably would have been up here with you.
yeah. But
So.
Just- yeah,
But that's a thought there. I mean, is a conversation with how can we fix this? I mean, it's her program. It's not working.
So when I look at aging, I see the two main components are transportation, which praise the Lord you have it, but you're looking for drivers.
We are.
Which, those drivers have to be CDL drivers, right?
No, they do not.
They don't have to be.
Because of the size and because of
van.
the, how many people we carry at once. So they do not.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
Okay,
it
so,
is.
yeah, so
It
that opens the door, with a little
It
bit
is.
more opportunity.
Yeah.
So is the driving, the transportation, but also the meals, those
Sure.
are, you know,
Sure.
of aging, I would think that
Yeah.
is such huge components.
And it really is. I mean, and I will put a plug out for the senior centers as well, though. They are a place.
Active.
Yes, they are a place where folks can, not only get their meals, but also interact with other folks. And so we're kind of working on trying to help them be more to the community. And that's always a
you're right,
process.
I understated that,
Yeah.
but you are absolutely
no.
right. The social side of it
It is important too, but no, the meals is, that is my thought. I mean, I don't know who else we can just keep talking to be honest. Linda is gonna say, we're doing it. And I'm assuming, Linda's assuming someone in the office is doing it. I think I hate to speak for them, but I think I understood that, Golden Wheel might have some ads out on the, I know they are. Doug had said he's got a sign, maybe
Well,
it's the
there's
one
a
at
sign on
TNG.
Main Street.
Yeah.
There's a sign on Main Street that says cook needed at Golden Wheel.
So they're
But that's
trying to
not
do
a
a
very
little promo.
broad
Yeah.
outreach.
Yeah.
So, well, let's, so
Does
they want you,
Golden-
they want you to tap the brakes on this for,
She did.
For how
She
long?
wanted, give me like a week or so. 'Cause she
not a
said-
so.
Okay, give me a week. That's okay, that's
So
okay.
Golden Wheel has a Facebook page,
Mhm.
but I guess, can we put anything that we need to cook on our Ottawa County Facebook page or not?
Oh,
We could if you guys wanted to, I mean, we stick it mainly to the county stuff, but
Right.
if you guys wanted to, we could.
Or we could
Right.
use ours as well though too.
Well,
I mean, if
so
Christie
I
had-
mean, Department of
or
Health,
even
what are you
just-
talking about, ours as well,
Yeah,
Department of
yeah,
Health?
yeah.
I think anything to get the word out.
Yeah.
This is crazy to have this hiccup in.
Again.
Again, exactly.
We just, and it was just really sad. It was a
All right.
great situation.
Well,
Okay, so in a week, what do you want?
I wanna know if they're gonna do something, or if we
Okay.
need to
Okay.
send
We want the
Carla
name of
or
the new
Dwayne or
Yeah.
somebody
Yeah.
or me to go talk
To
to them.
Manhattan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever we need to do.
Or, what we did last time, remember, we got her on the phone. I think we called her.
All right, let's do
I
In
know,
that.
open
pestered the heck
session.
out of you guys.
Didn't we do that?
Let's wait a week and
I'll let you
see.
know Monday.
All right.
I'll have Tammy put me on and I'll come
Or
up and
Yeah.
put
see.
me on the
Okay.
agenda?
Good plan.
Yeah,
All right, well, I need,
good deal.
I need,
Thank you.
10 minutes executive session with you for,
With
Person-
Sarah? With Sarah?
yeah,
And Tammy?
personnel exception, personnel matters.
Non-elected personnel?
Yep,
And to discuss non-elected personnel?
yep.
You want it for 10 minutes? So it's 10, say
39.
40. So move to go into executive session for non-elected personnel exemption to include Sarah Hodges and Tammy Cox at 10:40 to return to the commissioner room at 10:50.
Second? It's moved and seconded to, go into executive session with Sarah Hodges and Tammy Cox for 10 minutes to, is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So you got,
Okay, hang on.
She hasn't disconnected the sound.
Sorry, we all jumped on you.
turn off
All right,
the
Scott,
audio.
now you can say that.
No decision made.
Time's out. Okay.
All right.
Okay,
Thank
so,
you,
You
sir.
done with me?
yep,
Have a good one.
get out of here.
Thank you.
So we'll see you next week.
Yes,
Yeah.
I will. I'll see you next
How
week
about
and
the
we'll hit,
meals and stuff?
that'll
we'll
work.
see, I'll let you know where we're at and see if we're ready to.
Okay,
Yep.
And then
so,
maybe you've hired some, you have some applicants for the drivers?
Oh, my goodness, we do.
Hey,
We have.
I'm just gonna say, we've had some complaints, so if you're gonna have side, I'll have you come back over here.
Sorry.
Sorry.
So, yes, we have had,
Applicants.
we have had applicants for the drivers. I need more, so if that, I don't know. The trouble with it is, it's a part-time job. The way we're
On-call.
set up right now, there's no benefits. It's really fun and we're a good bunch, so that's the plus for it.
What's the
Very
pay?
flexible.
What's starting pay, or is it commensurate with experience?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it's gonna be on the pay
Starting
scale.
pay is not high, but it can get moved up with,
Okay.
with experience in a couple of different ways.
All right.
So, yeah.
well,
So, yeah, tell the
anybody out there wanna drive a
Yeah.
bus, contact
bus
Sarah.
or a van and.
Van.
And we
Yeah.
have discussed hiring incentives, so from the HR
Yeah.
standpoint, I have been in conversation with Sarah about some hiring incentives, that if it gets to that point,
Uh-huh.
Okay.
we have some hiring incentives.
All right.
I'd never
So
thought of that before.
are you like short now? Are you not meeting the needs
Oh,
of the
my
constituents?
goodness. Yeah, it's tight.
It's tight.
We
Okay.
have had a couple that we have referred, to other partners. So OCCK, I know I think I understand is taking someone to like a Wichita appointment that we absolutely would have done.
Right,
So
Okay.
yeah, we're strapped.
Is
Well,
this
we
80?
pay them, so we want those services to be utilized too.
We pay.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
we-
OCCK,
Yeah.
absolutely,
So we want,
absolutely.
we want
Yep.
those to
Alright.
be used.
Is this 81 connection bus route any, do they do within Salina or
Yeah,
locations, or
so
is that
the-
viable?
The thing about 81 Connection, not all of the folks that we transport are a good match for that, because if you take 81 Connection to Salina, then you feed right into CityGo, and you can go anywhere in Salina. Now, not all of our residents,
Like
Are-
to be retransported.
are good with that system.
That transition
And
to
actually,
City Go.
see, and OCCK actually has just started an on-demand service, which is who we've used to take.
Okay.
They took over.
To a specific location.
Well, I did
Yeah.
see them in Delphus.
Yes, yeah.
OCCK.
No.
Oh,
Well,
us.
probably. No, the 81
Oh, so that is new. That is a new little thing.
Did they add that for the high school kids?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay.
Trying
Was
to
it- was
coincide with sports practice and
Yeah,
such.
that's what I was, we
Yeah.
didn't
Interesting.
ask them to do that. Do you know if that happened?
I'm not sure, I didn't even think about what time it was when I seen it.
I don't know about 81 Connection because it's very regimented. I mean, you know, it's this way, it's
All right.
this
They were looking
way.
at changing things sometime late last year, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't ever hear that was done though.
No,
Very
I
good.
didn't either.
All right,
No,
let's
no.
move on. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Okay, now you can leave the chair again.
Okay, so there was,
Everything,
something we probably should talk to Truett again about before tonight. Did he ever let us know what he was going
Oh,
to?
from other counties?
Yeah,
That was an other county discussion.
yeah.
He was supposed to get with us. You want?
I'll just call him, because that guy's on the board and I'm sure he'll be wanting to know.
What
Mm.
happened?
Yeah,
Well, I have solid waste exemptions on for next week. I spoke to him, told you guys haven't made a decision yet.
well, I wonder if,
Cause you had the two ways that you had pending on solid waste. That was the Auto Tech one and then this gentleman right here.
Dwayne Brown?
Mm-hmm. Just a tidbit, and maybe something to think about for next week. With the exceptions, I feel like, and this is again a commission call completely, that they would be an individual basis, so if you can, to me, the exceptions should only be reserved for those who truly have an exception. And I believe both of these do, like have some sort of reasoning as to why it would be discussed by the commission. Now, whether it gets approved, obviously, is up to you guys. But, so if that's helpful, you know, if they can articulate why they feel they should be an exception to the general.
well, that's why I was wanting to hear from Truett about what other counties might do about that. I don't think I wanna completely do away with it, but maybe cut it in half or something.
Yeah, and you guys get to do whatever you wanna do with the exemptions themselves, however you want to handle them is fine.
Is that
You
320?
ain't dirty look, what are you thinking?
That was not a dirty look, that was a question, like, I just don't wanna open a can of worms so that we no longer are following what we had set, established as the protocol, so.
Okay,
Is that 320 the baseline entry level
Yeah.
for business?
Commercial, it's the lowest, so
It's the
everything
lowest.
All right,
commercial
we'll talk
that's
about
not
it
tonnage
tonight
is
then.
320.
Okay.
But, and I do have them on for, I'll have them on for next week as well.
well, we need to take care of it by then,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do the HAVA grant?
Yeah.
It's pretty short. So there's election security, we call it a grant program. It's really federal funding. HAVA is the Help America Vote Act.
The what?
The Help America Vote Act. That came about in 2000 after the hanging Chad incident. So it's really just federal funds. It's not truly a grant. Election offices cannot take grant money or should not be taking any grant money, I'll put it that way. And so I provided to you the parameters of the grants. What I'm looking to do is I did apply for it. I'm looking to add a new camera system to our ballot boxes. Those are required. We have cameras on our outdoor ballot boxes, which we do currently, but I don't like the system. And then on our equipment. And so I'd also included an interior room to be built into our vaults. In order to be in compliance with election security laws, there's certain things that you can and can't do. I'd like to be at a higher level of meeting those criteria. So
I thought we did something to the vault.
you guys have put a cage up there from the last HAVA grant is what my assumption is, but it doesn't reach all the way to the ceiling. You can put your fingers through it and touch things. Like it's just, to me, I don't believe it's in compliance for what needs to happen with election equipment.
All right.
So with this grant, they will refund 90%. So the total grant is that I'm requesting is $18,220.93. If I get approved, 90% of that would be $16,398.84. And so we would have to, we didn't incur the initial cost, but then the total cost, if approved, would be $18,022.09.
So would you say 16 what?
$398.84. That's 90%.
Okay, so what's the 10%? Is it like 18?
It's $1,822.09.
Okay.
Are you thinking that's gonna come out of your election capital outlay, or?
Possibly election capital outlay. I'm gonna see where my budget's at. I only used 56.86% of my budget, election budget last year. It was a city school election, but I was able to save some money there, and that is my goal.
So do you have a capital outlay budget this year, and do you have any
I
plans
have,
for it?
I believe I have over $5,000. I do have plans for that, but.
Other than this?
Yes, but it's for election equipment. So this would be fine, especially if it's only $1,822.
So, okay, so this is just a grant you're applying for, so
Yeah, I'm sorry.
you just applying for this then?
Yes, and I just
$100?
wanna know if I get approved, if, the commission's okay with me accepting the grant.
Sure.
So, do you want us to move to approve for you to apply for this grant?
Not apply, I've already
Just
applied.
consensus?
To accept it if
Yep.
approved.
To accept after approved?
Mhm.
Do we need a motion for that effect?
I'd like one.
Okay, so move to approve, acceptance of paying the 10% if the HAVA grant is received?
Well, I
Is
don't
that
pay all
correct?
upfront.
Or to,
I'll be reimbursed.
okay, so to, pay for the, improvements made through the HAVA grant, knowing the reimbursement is 90%.
I will second that if that's the final answer.
It's moved and seconded to approve the grant if it is awarded. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. I did see that it was supposed to be applied for by the 31st, and I was like, and then I saw you applied for it Friday, so.
Yeah, I apologize, I do wanna add one more thing. I'm presenting the grant, but the person who did all the work for this was Keith Coleman.
Oh, really?
Keith, I brought him in, I'm not a security expert. I said to Keith, what do I need? Not only did he do that, he's the one that got all the bids. He's the one that spoke to all the vendors. I'm not sitting here taking credit for something that I didn't relate to.
And he
Keith
should have
told me this
mentioned
when
that,
we did all
he should have
this.
mentioned it as a department head meeting.
He's not gonna take credit for
So I
that.
do wanna give credit, and I do wanna thank Keith for, you know, all I did was write 2 paragraphs and shake my
You
head,
took
yeah,
it
I
from
like that
there.
idea. So.
It's always good to work together, right?
Yeah,
So thank
so-
you, Keith.
Keith is the one who did all the heavy lifting on that, so.
Alright,
The next thing is upcoming meetings, and I just really wanna, we have so many that I just wanna just go over them with you guys quickly. There's 7 of them. So the first one is tonight, we have a solid waste meeting. The second one is the North Central the LEPG sanitarian meeting in Smith County. I am going to attend. I don't know if Sarah's attending.
I'm going.
You are going? Okay, good.
So is that with the sanitarian?
It's
Yeah.
with all the counties within our LEPG, our local environmental planning.
Maybe just a little bit late, cause I got a doctor's appointment at 8 in Glasgow, but I'll,
Yep, so I plan on, so you'll be there too, that's good. So I think, I just need, listen, I know there's been, some things we need to touch on, and we'll probably have
Did we
this
have,
discussion again.
are we having problems with the sanitarian?
nobody said a word to me.
Yeah, so we'll just attend.
That's another thing, just like, different personalities.
And then I wanted to
Well, I know
remind.
we had, I'm sorry, I know we had that one discussion about that one person that called.
I don't think it ended up being a problem, was it?
No.
Well, I think it
No.
got resolved, yeah, but you've had other calls, really?
I haven't had any.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Have you
But-
had some calls?
I just want to attend the meeting.
Okay,
Okay.
I think it's important.
well, thanks for
Um,
going.
February 16th, we do not have a commission meeting, I just want to remind you guys of that. February 19th is that township meeting that I put out for, so February 19th is the township meeting. March 9th, during the commission meetings, we'll have the fair, rec commission, service corps, school, and city here to discuss that.
Okay.
So I just wanna make sure you guys knew that was coming up. April 8th is the regional commission meeting in Concordia. Then April 20th is a hospital meeting after the commission meeting. And I am working on bringing the North Central Regional Planning Commission in to talk to you
Good.
guys in person. We're working on dates currently but it'll be during a commission meeting, but,
That they're gonna come?
yeah, and I did request in person, so.
Who were you been working through? Deb, Oldie?
Doubled, yeah.
Okay. I didn't know whether, she's the executive director, so she'd have the overall picture.
Yep, so I'm trying to get her in. Right now, I think we're discussing sometime after February, March 23rd, I can't remember off the top of my head. So I am working on that happening. I just wanna make sure you guys had everything on your radars.
So we don't miss anything?
So you don't miss anything.
Thank you.
There were so many that I just wanted to make sure I said something, so that's all I have there.
Could you run through that list a little slower, and I'll just write it down, I'm trying to put it on my calendar, and then we wound up in March, and I don't have March in front of me, so.
That's okay.
Okay.
So February 2nd, which is tonight, solid
Yeah.
waste.
Yep.
February 4th is the North Central LEPG meeting. And then February 16th, you guys have no commission meeting.
Mhm.
February 19th is that township meeting.
Okay.
March 9th is during the commission meeting, you'll have the fair,
Oh.
service corps, all
Yes,
those in
yeah,
there.
fair, yeah, okay.
April 8th is your regional commission meeting in Concordia. And then April 20th, after the commission meeting, is the hospital meeting.
Okay. What time is that hospital meeting? Is it something that all three of us can go to?
They invited all of you. I believe it's 11.
Okay, and the legal repercussions of all of us showing up as a commission board?
Been there before.
We can just say.
We've
we're
all
gonna
been there
attend.
before.
We can just say we're attending, and then it's,
Okay,
And
You know what I found out? There's a lot of things worse than that going on in the counties, and I tried to get the state to, do something about, and they never did anything. So if they're gonna gripe about us being at a hospital board meeting, tough.
I thought we just had to announce it that we were all gonna be in attendance,
Yeah,
kinda
well-
like the solid waste meeting
Right.
tonight.
mhm.
But I'll also be there in case you guys decide to convene. So I will be there in
do that without prior notice?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can just announce you guys.
Keep me out of jail.
I will,
That,
do the best I can.
kinda like, they put you in a be about what my dad said. They won't keep me very long.
Okay, so that's all I had there.
That's all your comments and everything?
No, that's just all the
To
upcoming.
darn.
Do you have any consent agenda?
How about, how about the accounts payable?
So I'll move to approve the accounts payable for 53,508.15.
I will second that.
Moved and seconded to pay the bills at $53,508.15. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. And the minutes are as presented.
Mm-hmm.
So move to approve the January 26th minutes as presented.
I will second that. I'm assuming Tammy made the changes that it was just one minor thing,
Yep.
I think, so it's there. Okay.
Moved and seconded to
Approved minutes.
approve the minutes of January 26th. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. And we don't have the payroll, do we?
Should be in that purple folder.
Yeah, we got it. I
Or
just
did
haven't
she
passed
send
it
it to
yet.
us?
I don't know.
Cause I
What?
didn't have it yesterday.
I don't know if she sends that to you guys or not. I just have it in that folder.
So, what are these?
So in that purple folder is anything you've already approved, but it just needs a signature on it.
Signature, okay.
There was something in that policy, there's a slight change, but you guys have approved it, so that has, I think the word company instead of county was in there.
All right,
So
that's right.
just, to be assigned.
I did not see a payroll register.
I
On yours?
sent it to you yet.
It's in the,
I got it right here.
Oh, okay.
Are you looking on your emails right now? Have you received it?
I did not, it'd come from Jody, wouldn't it?
yeah, it comes from Jody. I can ask her if she sent it.
That's part of this stuff. I need to sign these policies. So it was just one of the policies?
I think so.
Okay.
I kinda add them as we're
Well.
picking them up, but I think it was just one.
Maybe it wasn't.
Yeah, I don't see anything from Jody. Do I need to ask her to send it to me?
That's it to you guys. I just texted her as well and I don't hear respond.
There's only one place to sign these. You wanna look at it? You can put it in with that.
Okay.
That's the stuff we already passed. It just had a couple,
Yeah,
Might
all
be.
of it, yeah.
the words.
I wasn't even actually here that day, so should I sign it?
I think there's
No.
only one room for one signature.
Okay,
It's
I'll
only
just put it
Sharon's
in and pass it back.
I will tell you, if it, the payroll has already been paid, you guys will always move the payroll usually after the fact, just because of the way the calendar falls. So I just wanna FYI you on that one.
So what was the in-alert deal?
So what?
In-alert?
Okay.
I printed the,
That was part of her grant.
Oh, yeah,
oh, it was? Okay.
yes, that's all the buying grant,
Oh,
bids.
all right.
So, she just presented a summary sheet.
Yep.
I'd like to look at it for overtime. I track overtime, so I'd like to receive it every month. Do I need to let her know that?
You'd have to talk to her. Yep, you'd have to talk to her about that.
I just asked her to send it to me. Do you guys want it, should I say all of us want to?
I don't want it.
It is what it is.
I'm sure there's overtime for snow removal and stuff like that, so.
That may not even be on this
Yeah,
pay
probably not.
period.
Probably not. Okay, how about the clerk's comments?
Alright,
Don't
oh, wait,
start
do you guys
out that
wanna-
way.
They really wanna wait to do that.
It's already been paid. I'd make a motion that we pay or approve payroll as presented.
And I second. Moved and seconded to approve the payroll as presented. Is there any discussion?
I was just gonna look
All
real,
those in favor?
can I look, can you give me 1 minute to see what it looks like compared to January last year? Okay, I'll make sure that in the future we get it before, but, okay, go ahead.
I said all those in favor.
Okay, aye.
Aye. All moved and seconded and approved.
So clerk comments, real quick, I had a little bit of feedback on the videoing. One was making sure everybody went to the desk. That's why I kinda got upstairs with that conversation. They just asked everybody went to the desk.
What'd you just say?
Yeah.
I had some comments about videoing and, people going to the desk when they're talking, because they wanna see them. So that's why I had Sarah go back to the desk for that part, just 'cause I heard some commentary. And there's some question about audio during breaks, so, as a reminder, I do turn all the audio off on breaks, as is allowed, but just remember, not more than one of you can talk to anybody about county business during that time.
Right.
So, I just wanna remind you of that.
Right.
Okay.
And not saying you guys were doing it, just say one, reminder there. And then, let's see. Oh, the only other thing, that I haven't brought up yet is I did get billing for the North Central Regional Planning Commission. My assumption is you guys wanna continue on being a part of the North Central Kansas Regional Planning Commission.
So are we?
How much is it? Again, I'm not the.
I'm sorry, that's a great question, $3,500
Yeah.
for an annual membership.
And we have it budgeted, do you know?
I couldn't,
I'm sure we do.
Yeah.
I'm sure we do, I don't look at the budget for every bill, we paid it last year, so,
Yeah.
the budget did not change, so my, assumption without digging through the budget is gonna be yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're just trying to decide whether to submit it through APU?
Yeah, just to submit through, we would look to see where we paid out last year, and, yeah, I just got it, and I hate to just, like, pay memberships without trying to talk to you guys first, unless it's, very timely, so I just wanna make sure.
Do we need a motion to
A
pay?
consensus is fine, so I'll put it through invoicing.
I'm in.
Yep.
Any other? Probably anything on that you have?
Yeah, yeah, go ahead and submit it to
Okay.
AP, I'll look it up before we approve payroll next week. I'll look at it today.
And I'll just look where we paid out the last year.
You want that was part of the stuff that Carl cleaned out of the,
Oh. 2019,
yeah.
that's history. Yeah.
I've got the map right here in my desk. Save it.
So that's all I have,
Okay.
so if you guys, short and sweet, my department update. Well,
Well, I just want you to know, I've had people call me about the video, so thanks for getting that out.
yeah.
And it's good that people are watching it, so it makes your efforts worthwhile when the people watch it. So.
It does, and I think I'm gonna fix some audio issues for this one, we'll see.
Okay, and I'll just go ahead and talk about that rural grants real quick. So I ended up learning a lot more about childcare in Ottawa County than I ever thought I would, but, I'm very grateful.
Is that good or bad?
Oh, it's good, I mean.
Excuse me.
It's kind, trying to figure out how to to make this work, but,
Yeah, it's
so,
serious.
so I was grateful. So, and then again, the video, people watched the video and contacted me saying, hey, I hear you're talking about childcare. And they share something that I didn't obviously know, but, so Lisa Newman reached out to me because the extension office, she's familiar with childcare needs and has information for grant applications, so that was good to learn. Then I talked to the woman that started Good Sam's, or Little Sam's preschool, then now Becky Oshman, that program, and see what they do, and Dr. Stevens said they're applying for a preschool grant for, in the school for special, well, not special needs, but for certain children. But the childcare is really the part that isn't met. But with this grant, it's due by February 20th, which is just obviously 18 days from now. But the key thing is that I reached out to Jeff and Erica Schamberg because they started the Bennington Family Care Center
Jeff
here.
did, yeah.
And they had applied for grants, and when I talked to other people, they had told me that they had applied for grants to get that in the work. So I reached out to them and said, hey, the person, so it's called Rural Champions Grant because it's supposed to go to the rural champion who's fighting for their community. So it's really not supposed to be a county grant as much as it's supposed to be an individual champion within our community. So I reached out to Jeff and Erica, and they were gonna talk to their board about it. And, the best thing about it is I didn't know, this wouldn't help the Minneapolis, or maybe it could, depending on what their board decided, but, they could use it for expanding the Bennington one, if they have that, if they have all those.
Do you know how many kids they have?
I didn't ask them that.
Okay, go on. I'm sorry. Go on.
But, I know they had plans to expand, and if, it's better to have it utilized than not have anyone use it. In Ottawa County, even if it's not in Minneapolis, like you had directed me to focus. But, so anyway, and I also posed a question. I said, I don't know if you ever considered expanding to Minneapolis, having a similar center, but, this might be some seed money to investigate that. And I told them I was leaving it in their, at their board level, because I felt like the county shouldn't be doing this. It's really more of an individual one.
It is.
And I did ask a couple of childcare providers if they knew of anybody who was interested in opening a daycare. And they said there was one that was considering it in Minneapolis, but they didn't want to share a name yet. So anyway, I guess I just kind of pushed it on. But the good thing is to reach out to the extension office. Never thought that that's probably a good source of information. And, and speaking of that, they're open houses tomorrow. In the afternoon from 3 to 6, so.
I don't know that.
So I have it on my calendar, so I was just gonna, but I was grateful Lisa Newman reached out. So.
So nobody would have known that if we wouldn't have had this act.
Video, exactly, and like I said, 3 or 4 people reached out to me because we talked about childcare, which I guess we've never talked about childcare.
I've had one person reach out to me too.
Really?
With interested party.
Were they interested in opening a childcare? Because if they are, I mean, I think that funding is available. I mean, you'd have to be quick to
No
get it,
kidding.
and have grant writing experience, which, obviously Bennington used grant
Right.
funding, and they might have it in their file to file a grant.
I don't know if they're interested in opening or just staffing, when we get something, we lay the groundwork. So many moving pieces to that puzzle.
And maybe you need to redirect that person to Jeff and Erica to see.
Where is their
That could be
daycare?
Right across from the high school, the grade school.
a great school.
It's actually a house.
Yeah.
So I had a tour of it, and they had big plans to keep expanding, so maybe this will help for them. But I'm grateful for the opportunity to research it, but I really think this grant is really for the applicant.
Boy, take a special person to do it, I'll
Yeah.
tell you.
Yeah.
But that's all I have, just that.
Okay. I'm going to that meeting on Wednesday in Smith Center. And, it's supposed to be real nice this week, so.
Sure.
Yeah.
I did get some traction from the letters that we wrote to the
Oh.
companies.
Well, that's
And it was
exciting.
not necessarily about the small modular reactors, it was about a data center. The guy at the KDOC, or Department of Commerce, said, you guys apparently are serious with that. He said, would you be interested in coming up with a data center space? So we're looking at that.
So what would that curtail?
I was advised very heavily by certain legislators that if water usage is a problem.
It's not. They're air cooled now. These will be air cooled.
Okay, I just wanted to point out,
Yeah.
that was something I was actually approached about
Where-
if we get approached about data centers.
You
So
know,
information.
I heard some negative stuff too about data centers, so I was kinda glad that we were doing the project.
What I heard was 50 jobs per data center, and they can possibly locate 3 within our county. 150 jobs. And they
So
wouldn't
tell me
be-
what a data center,
You've heard of the cloud
yeah,
that's on the ground somewhere in a data center.
I'll be
That's-
darned.
Huh?
So I said I'll be darned.
Yeah, it's just ground-based banks of servers and memory and
So there'd be
computers.
that many people in each center?
Yeah, they're talking about putting 3 centers pretty well adjacent to each other, so there'd be 150 jobs coming to town possibly. It'd start out with 1 and then move
Start
on.
one.
So we don't know.
So I was
So the
reading-
go ahead.
I read this article in this, from the National Association of Counties, and it says counties grapple with data center boom. And it specifically says that it's a drain on electricity, water, and noise, and increases utility bills in constituents in those counties.
Well, if it was water, it probably would do most of
Yeah,
that.
I can see water, but these are air cooled. They have, this guy at the Department of Commerce is working as a mediator in our favor, he is filtering out the undesirable companies, the fly-by-night people. He said the companies that he's recommending our letter to or our interest to are good neighbors. They want to abide by setbacks. They don't want some big obtrusive building sitting out there in the landscape in rural Kansas, they want to try and hide it for other reasons too, because, they don't wanna know where the data center is, it could be a good target, so,
Well,
multiple reasons.
Yeah, I guess it's, when we were at the KAC meeting, they kind of weren't talking data centers up. And I guess it's
Probably
I guess-
because of water and electricity.
And the whole drain on electricity, we would certainly want to,
Well, it's up to the power company that would be providing this, wherever it was, if it's DSNO, Evergy, or whoever the power company might be, if they can do this, and we're talking a 2029 schedule, 2030, it's when they will get this decided. They want to have these sites located by then, and by then they will have a letter of commitment from the Evergy company or from the power company to say, yes, we can, no, we can't, then we're out of the running.
yeah, the most important thing is I'd really like to, I didn't know you were talking data centers, but I would reach out to, all the commissioners in the state and say, hey, do you have a data center? What has been your experience? Because we don't wanna do this blindly. Like I said, other people had said that they were not in favor of data
Harvey
centers.
County, Sedgwick County or not, I do not know the reason why they were rejected, but battery lithium storage backup for the grid, I think is a far bigger concern than data centers, cause there's gotta be
Yeah.
fiber optic, there's gotta be power, they're a huge power drain. I can't see that it would cause the people adjacent to this data center to have higher utility rates, because this company is going to be, well, maybe
Well,
through expansion.
it says a drain on electricity, therefore causing utility rates to go up.
Okay,
That's what they said.
okay.
Well, it'd have a lot to do with water, the drain, the electricity and the water.
Yeah,
If there's not water
yeah.
involved, it might not be as bad on electricity.
And they also
as
said
well.
noise in this article. Have you
Yeah.
heard anything about noise?
That's why they're talking about setbacks, and they're trying to be good neighbors, to the people around and adjacent, to cut down the noise, cut down the obtrusive looking buildings, all this stuff. We're a long ways from home free.
I know, but I also feel like we need to really research this on the front end before we dive in too much on data centers. I haven't heard the negative side on the small nuclear reactors, but the data centers is the one that people have said no to.
I figured it'd be the reverse. I figured the nuclear reactors would be the hot topic, and data centers would be pretty benevolent addition to our community for our tax base and employment and so forth.
And keep on it as long as it doesn't, that's a long ways off, so keep,
It is, yeah, we're talking 4 years,
yeah.
at least 3 or 4 years, but
So no
we can
reason-
do a lot of research between now and then.
Yeah.
Anything else?
glad to be here.
I'm glad you're
Yeah, I'm
back.
glad you're not, yeah. Well, I moved to adjourn at 11:27.
I will second that.
Moved and seconded to adjourn at 11:27. Is there any discussion? All those in favor,